This is actually a bit uphill, so it's going to play a bit further, and it's pretty tough to get the power to get it up there. Let's see if she can make it.
She's just seen. And she does. And she kept
From this willow. Decides not to jump putt it.
Man.
That's going to come into play as a bit tougher. I mean, we saw her knock one down on the first hole.
Dead set.
Yeah, this will be a heat check for Paige right here.
Under par. Look at that.
Hi, I'm Paul Uliberry, and this is my Discraft in the bag. I'm gonna make it pretty simple and start from putters to mid-ranges, fairway drivers, and then to my faster high-speed drivers. So first off, I recently made the switch to the Luna. This is one of Discraft's newest putters. I really like this because of the rounded bottom, and it's also beadless, so it feels really comfortable in my hand, and it makes for an easier release. When I go outside the circle though, I actually switch to the Focus. When I say outside the circle, I actually mean like about 40 feet and out. And I like this one because it has a little bit more glide than the Luna does. I can put a nice pop on it, and it's really kind of consistent for that nice floaty. Doesn't really go as far past. I don't have to worry about rollaways and things like that. My next one is the Z-Ringer. This is actually probably my favorite disc in my bag right now. I like it because of the lower profile of the rim here. It works for my natural grip, which is actually a power grip. And so I have a cleaner release because it's not so deep, and I can throw it almost like a mid-range, but it is great for about 250 feet to 280. Has a really straight flight. New ones obviously have a little more stability, but I've beat this one into a super straight, consistent putter. So this has actually added a new shot to my game that I never had. If you throw Discraft, everybody has to have ESP zone. This is just an all-around consistent flyer. It's your stability that you need in that putter lineup. I can throw it sidearm, backhand, whatever the situation calls for. Windy conditions, even short up shots when it's calm, it's just super consistent. One of the best discs out there. I'll go into my mid-range, which is actually super simple right now. I only have 3. I have Buzz, Z-Buzz, and this is just really flippy for big, long turnovers. I'm trying to work other buzzes into the bag right now, but it's been kind of a long process. This is actually ESP Wasp, and I'm really liking this for kind of straighter, stable shots. I can also put it on an Anheuser, and it fights through the angle and kind of the flat, so I'm really loving the ESP Wasp. I also have a drone, and this is for a little notch up from the zone. It goes a little bit further, that same stability that you need for all those, running around 300 to 250, 250 foot shots. And yeah, just super consistent disc. And that's what stability gives you, is consistency. So I'll go into my fairway drivers now, which I am testing out a lot of them. One of my favorite discs right there. People actually laugh when they see this one. Avenger SS. in the Pro D plastic, and I use this one for when I'm in like crazy situations in the woods or something, trying to get out of trouble. I use it for rollers, low ceiling rollers and things like that. So I call it my get out of jail free card. I have Ace Race Heat, and this thing is a disc I use for big, long turnovers. Something like a hole that bends from left to right that you have to fade like long distances way right. I use this one. You can give it height and it just kind of carries that glide super nice and consistent, and lands very soft. So the Heat, it's the Mantis. Mantis was one of the first discs that found its way in my bag right away. I can't wait to get in the woods with this thing. It's super consistent for straight shots. It has a really slow turnover as well. It doesn't really glide a lot to the right, but it'll slowly fade in like kind of tight corridors. I have a more stable one that I use for kind of a glidey hyzer, to where other discs might want to get to the ground fast. This one will kind of slowly get there, and I can push around corners better with it and everything. So I'm really loving the Mantis. I've been trying out the Z Tracker. I like the way this one actually releases out of my hand, and the stability is really nice. I'm still trying to get used to it, but it's definitely made a spot in the bag, but I'm not sure if it's gonna stay there. So next up is ESP Vulture, and this one's a little bit faster than, I believe it's a little bit faster than the Mantis for me. I use this one for right around 400 foot, like straight shots, or if there's wind and I need something that with a little bit more stability with the speed, I use the Vulture. So now I get into my faster discs, faster drivers. I have a Titanium Crank SS. I use this one for probably right around 430 to 450 long turnovers, something that I need to go from left to right. With all the new course designs out there, it seems like there's a lot of left to right shots where you need something that kind of glides to the right, and I use a Crank SS for that. And I have a ESP crank, and this one I actually use for my rollers. So big, long, 450 to 550 foot rollers or something like that. I use this crank right here, ESP. Now I'll get into the forces. I have ESP force, and I got this one from a buddy. It's super beat up, so I kind of use it for more straight stable shots, which I feel like a lot of people are using the force for is mostly stability. This one's a little bit more beat than my Z ones, so I get a little extra glide with the stability that I want. These ones are kind of my go-to in the windy situations where I need something that I can rely on in headwinds, something that I can throw about 350 to 400 feet with a nice hyzer, and I know it's not going to flip right. So water situations where I'm trying to block off the right side, this will be my go-to. Next up will be my nukes. I have an ESP nuke, and this is actually probably the furthest flyer in my bag. So any holes over 420 to 430, I'm using this one on all shots. Hyzers, big turnovers, straight shots, whatever it is. This is my big flyer right now. And then crazy windy situations or little like super right to left skip shots that I'm trying to work a disc over there, I'll use the Nuke OS. And found this one on the used rack. Thought it might be a little beat up, but I found out that most all Nuke OSs are just the most stable disc ever. So that's what I use this for. And then last of the faster drivers are my Kongs. These ones just came out, and I'm still learning them, but I found that they fly similar to a Force, but they have a little bit more glide, so they're going further for lower arm speeds. I feel like this could replace a lot of shots that you're trying to kind of force that the force flight with, and this will go. This might fill that spot. So I'm really loving these. And then the last disc in my bag is probably my most important disc, and that's the Raptor. And this is, you know, for anything under 300 feet. Skip shots, slow flex shots, backhand hyzers. This is the disc that I'm using for all those things. I can't wait to get in the woods and use this thing for getting out of trouble with sidearm rollers to backhand flex shots, anything under 300 feet. So that's the Raptor. So that's gonna do it for my in the bag. If you have any questions or you wanna actually do some research to find out what discs I was throwing, go to discraft.com. They'll have everything that you need to know and ways that you can get these discs. Thank you, catch you out on the course.
The Raptor was created for a specific shot, a specific distance, and especially comfort. A lot of thought went into the design of the Raptor. We wanted to make a disc comparable to the Zone that just went a little bit further with that consistency. And with the Raptor, I really feel like we accomplished that.
Get in the hole.
Yeah! Get in the hole. Holy crap. Wow. And just when I thought he'd lay it up for the solid round, Paul Macbeth goes for it. Wow. What a round. Paul Macbeth, the 45 Nico. Dave Feldberg getting in. Everybody knows that was a magical moment.
Good morning out there.
Hey everybody, welcome to the conclusion of the 2019 Ledgestone Insurance Open. We're bringing you live coverage from the FPO division, and pretty much our storyline is laid out. We have Katrina Allen leading the way at 17 under par, followed by Paige Pierce at 15 under, and then Haley King with a nice solid round yesterday
sure.
makes her way up to the lead card, and she's sitting at a solid 9 under. Jennifer Allen at 8 under, and yeah, let's get right to the coverage, Pete. This is hole 1, par 4, 636 feet.
Catch shot goes out there just fine. She's going to be in decent position.
Yeah, you really want to end up kind of right out there where she did, and then I think the tough part of this shot is actually the approach shot into the sloped green. Really, we've seen a few land short, few get up in the mix there for the birdie, but today this is coming in as the 4th hardest hole on the course, so it does have some teeth. Only 2 birdies on the day, so
Paige really let that disc fly on that shot.
yeah, for sure. I mean, that's pretty close to pin high.
I'm really looking forward to today's round, Paul. Their putters were hot yesterday. Let's see if they can get them going early today.
Oh, yeah, that was an unbelievable display of putting yesterday from the whole entire card, and I'm sure we're in store for nothing but the same.
Absolutely, and Haley just put a really good move on the disc also. She's also in a decent position.
Yeah, I mean, this tee shot's going to be just, a basic hyzer. If you want to get a little flex on it, they're able to do that because of all the room that they have on the right side. But again, I think that the tough part about this hole is speed control into the green. Give yourself a look, and then I'm just gonna guess that we're gonna have a couple testers to kind of start out the round.
So today, Paul, I think, like we were saying, yesterday's putting round was extremely amazing. It's one of the best putting displays we've seen on film. They lit it up from all over the place.
Yeah,
probably
absolutely.
400 feet worth of putts.
Yeah, it was
amazing.
I think today that's going to be that's going to be tough for them to match, especially with the winds kind of picking up here early in the morning. Looking at the weather report, it's supposed to kind of die down as the day goes on for them, and then I'm guessing around 17 and 18, depending on the timeline, some rain might even come into effect, and we'll see how that affects this card as we move forward. But nonetheless, I mean, we have this storyline painted for us, and can't wait to get back to the action and see how these women fare on this awesome course.
It's early enough there, Paul. There could be dew on the ground. Do the disc track faster? Have you noticed when the ground is wet? Do they skip a little bit more? Does it grab? Here we are coming back into Katrina, getting ready to make her approach shot. And this is perfect. You can't ask for much better than that. She had the right height, right speed, played the angle well, and it caught the ground really well.
Yeah, that was absolutely perfect, and that's going to be a tap-in birdie to start the round. That's going to definitely feel good.
Haley catches the tree. That's going to leave her right about the edge of the circle.
I think that was a good tree. I think that had a lot of speed going into that green. If it didn't catch the basket, that could have,
leaked quite a ways down the hill.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw Jennifer yesterday kind of have a slow start, and then towards the end of the round made a nice little push to solidify her place on this featured card for the final round. That one, a lot like Haley's, had a little more juice on it down that hill and took a kind of a wild skip, honestly, and we'll have to see if that even remains safe. As Paige has the best drive on the card and is able to
puts it probably within, how far is that tree? About 25 feet?
Yeah, probably right around 20 feet. I mean, definitely kind of hugged up against the base there, but she should make good from there. As we see a nice gallery kind of moving along with this lead card, I know that because of the weather coming in, the tournament kind of bumped up the tee times and made everybody get up a little bit earlier than expected, but still some people getting out there to support their favorite players, so that's always great to see. And she did make her way down there. There are a couple barriers, it looks like, that the course designer kind of put up to help with the rollaways and things, but she still made it down there a pretty good ways, Pete.
She gets it back under the basket. She'll have tap in for par. So no harm, no foul. Once again, that's going to leave Paige with a chance to take another stroke. Kat's setting parked, and so is Haley. Let's see if Haley can convert on this to make birdie.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good get it. This will be a nice little putt to kind of get her round going. You'd see the tree branches above the basket kind of moving. Might have gotten her head a little bit, maybe with the slope. First hole, some nerves. And obviously, as Paige approaches her lie, to see somebody miss like that, I mean, it can kind of get in your head a little bit, but she's a 4-time world champion. I think she's going to be able to start the round off good, and she does.
She does. She converts.
And unfortunately for the other players on the card, with Katrina and Paige kind of pulling themselves away from the field and right here both taking birdies, in order for somebody else in the tournament to even have an outside chance, you really have to score early here. And
you're going to have to make an early push. You're going to have to get hot fast.
So every hole that gets away from you is just going to add up, and then eventually we're going to see them just having a battle for, honestly, third place.
These are new hole previews thanks to GK Productions. So we get to have a fly through now. This here is hole 2, Paul.
Hole 2, par 3, 313 feet. We're going to see a few hyzers go out and around the tree that we just flew under. Really, the trick to this one is going to be speed control into the green and kind of a slight slope down on the backside of that green as well. You'll see out of bounds to the left a bit. But I think the trick on this one is to get past those guardian trees and then kind of have an unobstructed putt. As we move into the second card, this is Missy Gannon lining up with what might be an out of bounds shot here, Pete. Yesterday, as we were watching the leaderboard and different people popping in and out of the mix, we saw her have a very hot start, finish with a very solid round, and I think that put her in right at 5th place to start this round. So she's doing what she needs to do, to kind of make a push at this tournament as other players kind of jockey for a position throughout the day. That's Jessica Weiss, the defending champion from last year. I'm sure she was looking for a faster start, but no time like the present to
really make a move, to really make a push. That was just a little bit high off the band. She's going to have a little bit of a tester coming back. Here we have Vanessa Van Dyken approaching her lie. She was on our feature card to start this event. While she had a fairly good round, she plays very consistent, which is why she's in the position she's in. And she also can push herself up into that. You know, right now what we see is a second or a third or a fourth spot. Right now it seems like our leaders have run away. But anything can happen if she starts catching fire, starts making some moves. Anything can happen today.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty far, but that would be a pretty far jump for them to, catch up 10 strokes on the leaders. So, oh man, you hate to see that. She hit that one right on the stripe. Ooh. Runs up there to tap that one in. That's just very unfortunate. As Vanessa taps in as well. But I mean, there are some tougher weather conditions today. I don't think we're going to see, the 10, 11 downs like we saw yesterday, 7 downs. It seemed like maybe 5 or 6 scores right around that number. I think today with, the tougher weather conditions, obviously a little bit more pressure for these women moving forward. I think we're going to see maybe 7 to 8 down possibly, but maybe even lower than that, honestly.
Katrina puts it right within the circle, probably about 24 feet, 20 feet.
That might even be closer than that, Pete.
That was a really good drive.
Yeah, that was a really good drive. Putting that probably right around 15 to 18 feet, I'm guessing. And so that's going to put her right there to, 2 in a row to start. Paige flips this one up. This one's just got to sit down. I mean, this is going to have a little heat going down the hill. Needs to sit.
Oh. Come back.
And we're going to have, early this round, we're going to have a group decision on that one. We can't really see where that one landed, but definitely going to be close to being on that out of bounds path. And this is pretty good height. I don't know if it's going to get far enough left.
She's also down near the out of bounds. She's looking to be about 40 feet.
And we can see that, at least we can see her entire disc, and we know that one's going to be safe.
Just this is kind of high, but it seems to be playing in pretty stable.
Yeah, which is what you really kind of want on this hole. The higher you get it, the better chance of getting left and not going out of deep out of bounds there.
Disc golf is a relatively young sport, but its popularity makes it one of the fastest growing pastimes in the world. The PDGA is a not-for-profit, worldwide player organization dedicated to promoting the sport. Like a long drive off the tee, disc golf is soaring. So don't just be a witness to disc golf's explosive growth, be a part of it. Join the PDGA.
I practice a lot. It's a vice. An escape from stress, from work. It's my chance to just get away during the week. It's like meeting up with an old friend, you know? I'll never get tired of that sound.
As you can see, Paul, it looks like that's Paige Pierce's disc. I'm going to call that inbounds.
Yeah,
I don't think there's any question with that one.
Yeah, that one it looked like, obviously with the other camera angle that we all had, we weren't sure, but that one's definitely going to be inbounds, I think. And
let's see. You want to look at it?
And let's see if she can capitalize on, that fortunate kind of rollback. It slowly rolled back, and it was like 50-50 shot whether that was going to be inbounds or not, and gets the nice call there. And I mean, we saw them running the basket the whole day yesterday. Let's see if they can keep on with that theme here.
Oh, yeah. Paige.
The whole day yesterday.
That one a bit low, but had enough power and sneaks over that rim, and that's a perfect putt right there.
Just a little bit left.
Yeah, I mentioned you. I think that in the first round coverage that Haley King is one of those players that can get very hot. She has plenty of distance, sidearm, great putt. Reminds me a lot of Anthony Barella in the FPO division as far as she can get really hot and string together a lot of birdies. As unfortunately, Jen misses that one a bit left. And so you just never know. It could be a couple over par round for her. Or it could be, 7-8 down. As she still was aggressive with that putt, and unfortunately doesn't connect. But I look to see her kind of push forward. In an interview yesterday, she said she was looking for like 14 down or something. So the confidence is there.
Absolutely. Kat puts a solid putt on there, Paul. She's going to keep her 1-stroke lead.
Yeah,
2-stroke lead.
Yeah, that's a 2-stroke lead, and seemingly, stress-free so far.
Yeah.
Not outside of 15 feet for birdie.
Haley makes good on her par. Hole 3, 384 feet downhill. You get around, you really need to control your flight under this tree around, and then you have to lay up to where the basket is perched between these bunkers. The key to this hole is really putting yourself in position to have as minimal stress on your upshot as possible.
Yeah, we've seen in previous rounds that there's a few different routes you can take on this one. I think the preferred route is slight anhyzer down that left side, turning it into the fairway there. And if you don't turn it enough, it kind of leaks left, and there's really no trouble. Like you said, the further you get down the fairway, the easier the upshot is. But that's where the tricky part comes in, is the upshot. And it seems like that the women that we have on this card have nice long putts, so I'm looking to see if they can get far enough down there to where they can have that easy little jump putt and approach, instead of having to do like a full throw or something and squeak it in between, like you said, these bunkers that surround this basket and make it probably the most treacherous screen on this course.
Yeah, for sure. This one is coming in as the first most difficult hole in the course. So those bunkers do play a major role in how you approach, how you really would like to score on this hole.
As we see
Holly Finley just off the left side again.
Yeah, and you kind of get the feeling that everybody knows today's the last day. Today matters. I don't know. It just has almost an eerie feeling.
It's the final day. Vanessa makes good from inside the bunker, so that will be whatever her score was getting to there. She's going to add 1 stroke. Holly tapping in. Jessica Weiss tapping in. And we're going to go to the tee, hole 3, to our feature group. Paul, Cat plays a nice turning shot. She's out wide enough. She should have a decent approach, but she still has a tester coming in.
Yeah, I had mentioned earlier that I think they want to get close enough to where they can kind of putt it, and have that control into the green. She's going to be far enough to the left and from the basket to where she's going to actually have to throw the shot. And that's going to be, it's not going to be
a testy
easy.
Distance from there because it's between a throw and a putt, and that becomes a challenge on your touch.
As Paige, kind of ends up in a similar position, a little bit too low on the anhyzer and doesn't really get the skip as well with Haley. So we're going to see those kind of half putts, half throw kind of style. And that's, final day lead card. Those are tough.
Jen seems to have the height here to really push down. She's going to be in a very good position.
Yeah, that might even be a look, honestly, if she wants it to run the birdie there.
I can throw this disc around the world in one shot.
Never play disc golf too far into the jungle. There may be cheetahs.
Someone on your card can't recall if they threw a 6 or a 7. It was probably an 8. See? Stay getting birdies, my friends.
What do you think, flatness and stiffness on this?
Somewhat flat, neutral stiffness. This is a good disc right here.
Purple and orange. Got it. 2 more.
Danny, this is a sick one.
Dude, I gotta get through all these today.
Cheers to a good day, gentlemen.
Cheers.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's good.
It's a hard day.
That's great.
And here's Paige lining up that long up shot. And we saw Katrina do this yesterday to where, she took that first bunker kind of out of play and aimed a little bit left. I think the green's a little bit bigger, and then the speed control short really doesn't come into play.
Kat has these 2 trees that are going to dictate some of the way she plays this hole. She plays that really well. Haley does an excellent job also.
That was a long jump putt.
That was like you said, she demonstrated that power she has with that throw. It's a long ways to have to jump a putt.
And this was a great drive by Jennifer. She was able to crest that hill with enough stability to kind of get a full flight out of that disc. And she's going to be right around 40 feet up the hill for birdie. It's going to play a little bit further, so, I think she's probably going to lay this up. But if she wants to run it, it's there.
Yeah, just making sure to put it safe. Right on the stripe. So far, Paul, they're not giving any indication that this is going to be a walk away. They're going to battle right down to the very last.
Yeah, Paige, obviously displaying that her putter is still hot from yesterday. But Katrina looks like she's in control and, like I said, on the first 2 holes, very stress-free. Has so far played the holes perfectly. What do you think as a player is easier, to start off making a couple long ones and having those, test your 20 footers, 25 footers, or would you rather just park everything, moving forward in the round?
Early in the round, I think I would really like to just park everything.
Yeah.
That puts it more in cruise control. Here we're on hole 4. Hole 4 is par 3, 345 feet. Downhill, we have this pond that's OB in the middle. And, like we've seen in the previous rounds, this women's lead card has all the power in the world they need to get around the corner and just put it right next to the basket. What do you think, Paul?
Yeah, I think, honestly, this is, for our lead card, probably going to play as the easiest hole on the course. I mean, they have plenty of power, like you said, to throw really a stable disc to come into this green, and it's almost like a catcher's mitt. As long as you get the distance right, it's going to, play as a pretty easy hyzer. As we switch to second card here, and Jessica is pretty much displaying exactly what my point is.
She carried a bit long, but she's completely safe.
Yeah, I mean, there's really no trouble as long as you don't miss left and early. I think that one catches those tree limbs and ends up into the that OB pond. But if she takes that a bit wider, she would have been fine. So I don't think we're going to see a mistake like that from our lead card.
I agree with you.
The 2019 United States Amateur Match Play Championship continues with our doubles bracket. Local doubles qualifier match play brackets will be held throughout the United States and Canada through July and August. The championship bracket will be hosted in Emporia, Kansas on September 27th through the 29th. In the players pack, each player on the teams will receive a Dynamic Disc Biofusion Raider and a Latitude 64 Gold Burst Pioneer. Make sure you go to discgolfmatchplay.com for more information for the tournament directors and for the players. We can't wait to see you out here in Emporia, Kansas for the championships.
We're on the green of hole 4. It looks like the card is figuring out where Holly Finley might have gone out OB into the water. Once we get her lie, then we'll move into where they're going to putt.
Yeah, it looked like Vanessa kind of leaked over there as well. A couple of these players went into that, tight wooded line right there. figuring out where they went out of bounds, or if they went out of bounds. Looks like maybe some confusion.
I think it'd be a question if they hit high on the tree, if they cleared land, or if they hit further back on the tree that hangs over the water.
Yeah, I mean, definitely could be a possibility. We saw Jessica go a little bit deep there, so she's going to have, as we look down from this view, she's actually probably going to be about where this camera is, and as you can see, is a steep drop off of Vanessa being well below that basket right there, so it makes that putt a little bit more challenging. And obviously, if you miss short to where they're discussing over there, putting up the hill makes for a bit of a challenge as well. So as they move in and try to figure out where everybody is, yeah, and it looks like Vanessa has finally
found her spot.
I'm going to say good. I just have a good feeling about this one.
Just a skosh short.
Oh, for one today for me, so typical start.
Okay. Like you said, we're going to come back what looks to Jessica's lie. She was a bit deep.
Yeah, a little further than I actually thought. I mean, this is just going to be a layup from here, I believe.
Yeah, it's quite a stressful putt. Pretty far for the power you'd have to get on it, and if it did miss, it would definitely carry down into the water.
And this is going to be the closest drive on the hole. Surprising that she's going before Holly, who actually ended up going out of bounds. That we actually saw her tee shot. So.
It's a very good putt.
Yeah, there's a birdie.
From here, you can see up the hill where they would be throwing from and the bit of elevation that you have to carry downhill into the screen.
Did Holly already putt? Did I miss that? Oh, she might have not even have crossed land and pitched over from the other side. I'm guessing then. That makes sense. Thank you to Discraft for sponsoring the Ledgestone. Obviously, the relationship they have with the Ledgestone Insurance Open has been great, and it's a great relationships between tournament director, staff, and we appreciate all the sponsors here at Ledgestone as Katrina lines up the wide hyzer, and this looks like it needs to get left. And it does.
She sticks it right in the ground.
Yeah, I mean, that's 25 feet. That's actually going to be her first actual tester putt, you would say. And it'll be definitely a good indication on how her putt is feeling today as Paige lines up the hyzer as well.
Paige goes directly inside,
and that was honestly probably one of the worst shots we've seen from her this tournament. She's been in control of her drive, and that one was just early, and it was actually so bad that she catches that branch and ends up staying safe.
And that's definitely a throwing error.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, she would definitely want that higher, obviously to carry over, but that was a pull, and maybe there's more wind there than we're seeing that they're having to try and adjust for.
and this looks like it's got to get some legs.
Looks like you hit that bush. It's just going to be a question whether it stayed in bounds.
Yeah, and then, you know, we had mentioned Katrina kind of being in control right now, and another stress-free drive puts it right in the circle, and everybody else is kind of all over the place in a sense.
Yeah.
As we see some movement on the scoreboard. Like I said, it just felt like today wasn't going to be the scoring day that we had yesterday. You know, we see Lisa at even par and actually making a move up the scoreboard at even par, to whereas yesterday, at that point, you would have needed to be about 2-3 under to make that move.
Mm-hmm.
Paige Pierce throws her upshot, and she's gonna at least get par. An interesting stat that I was looking at, but thank you to UDisc for providing these stats for us, was Katrina is number 1 in circle 2 putting, and to top that, she's also number 1 in parked. So with that being said, that is a complete recipe for success. Not only is she throwing it close, but then when she's making those mistakes, she's able to capitalize with those long putts. And as we, you know, move through early in this round, she has another putt right here to extend her lead to 3.
Yeah.
Haley throws her approach up to the basket, and she's actually going to have her first bogey of the round here if she can make good from there.
Paul, I believe Haley called a provisional, and just to check when they got across in case she had touched in bounds on this side of the pond.
Yeah, from our angle, it looked like it didn't, but the player always has the right to call provisional to protect themselves in case, you know, they could get the benefit or something like that. So
definitely a wise decision.
wise decision, but it doesn't look like they're going to give the progression forward. Looks like Jennifer ended up safe, and she's going to be right at about circle's edge with a very obstructed, tricky putt up to this basket.
Not only is the tree branches in her way above, but she definitely has some very awkward footing. Trying to get a level stance. There's a good view of the angle she's trying to stand on, and it's probably a little bit muddy. It's really hard to commit to a solid putt when it's that muddy, when you feel like you're going to slip. She pitches up. She's going to be able to get up and down for her par also. Now we're going to get to see how Kat is going to approach this. I expect it to go in, Paul. This is an opportunity for her to really take solid control early.
Yeah, I mean, this is a big-time momentum putt right here.
She makes good. Like you said, a stress-free early part of the round, putting yourself in good position. and she capitalizes from well inside the circle. Her lead is going to go to 3 over Paige Pierce. A very unfortunate miss by Haley.
Yeah, I mean, misses the basket completely, and luckily actually stays in bounds, but she's going to have 35 feet up the hill for double bogey.
She's going to take her meter relief from the water's edge. Now with the basket above her, she can be a little more aggressive with this putt, but she was aggressive with the last putt.
Yeah, it looked like she was very, very aggressive with that last putt, which is why, unfortunately, she's in this position. And that's going to be a 3-putt triple bogey.
Yeah.
If she can make this one.
She makes good. Not the score she was looking for off the tee. That is for sure. Paige taps in for her par. Paul, we're moving into hole 5. You have to throw out of this gap. This one is definitely about speed control. You have to clear water the whole way. You know, the water for these women isn't really going to come into play as much other than the water on the left of the basket. Anything that they throw that they don't get their angle correctly is going to leak into that water.
Yeah, we saw the card yesterday. A few of them made the mistake left, but I think actually the mistake left into that water is better than short and not clearing land. I think we might see possibly a sidearm from Haley that's coming in from left to right, which makes this green a bit bigger. A couple putter shots from Katrina and Paige, and probably a mid-range or something from Jennifer. So let's
here's our view from the green of hole 5. Here's looking at our scoreboard. We have Haley King went down 2 spots with her last hole. Lisa Ficus has come up 3 places. You can't let that one go a bit early out of her hand.
Yeah, first mistake that we've seen from her this round, and it was actually a bit short as well. So not only does she go out of bounds, but she's going to have a, not a close putt to save the par.
And Paige really capitalizes there. The door was left open for her, and she really took a really good line at that basket.
Yeah, made sure she got it to the right side of the fairway and left it loaded, and yeah, I mean, this is 240-foot shot as Jennifer throws it about 300 feet. Go in. Not in the lake.
That one leaks just out of bounds. behind the basket. Like you said, you really have to have your angle correct on your disc to land safely, and you want to play to the correct side of the green. Paige did that. Jennifer threw it a bit long, but she's safe. Here we're back on the green of hole 5. Katrina Allen is figuring out where her disc went out. She's going to take her meter relief in, and she's going to be left with about a 45-footer to save par. With Paige setting up near the basket, she really needs to make this to keep in control. Oh. It was a very good aggressive putt. She was right on line, just a little bit high. So with this hole, Paul, if Paige makes good from her putt, that's a 2-stroke swing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a mistake that we said that really shouldn't be made is short, but she does both. She goes short, and then in the water, her putt actually looked really good, so that's a good sign. It came out smooth, just a bit high. I'm sure, obviously, she wanted that to drop a little bit, but I mean, that's only missing by a couple inches. So Paige isn't in yet, but with the way she's putting this round, I'm going to guess that she should make good from there as Haley takes her meter in from the water. And yeah, this is going to, just like that, be a one-stroke
Possibly a
game.
one-stroke game, and we're only 5 holes in. Haley makes good. So she's going to walk out of here with a 3 after the mistake of going into the water. So
yeah,
not too bad. It's a hole that obviously she would have wanted to have gotten. Paige brings it within 1.
Yeah, and it was nice to see Haley make that from the water's edge we saw in the last hole. Her kind of struggle a little bit. Last few holes kind of struggle a little bit with the putter, so maybe that's a good sign of her heating up coming into these back parts. One thing to be noted is she's not really used to being on these lead cards. Fairly new player and
getting used to the camera, getting used to the flow.
And Katrina did hit high on that first putt, and it kind of rolled back to about 18 feet, but puts it right over the rim and in, and we're going to be off to hole 6.
Hole 6 is par 4. That's par 5, 712 feet. Their first shot is going to want to get down here a ways. They're going to have to decide if they're going to go big or if they're going to lay up 2 shots up to this lower landing area. And then they're going to have to, on their second or third shot, carry the water, try and keep it close, but make sure that they're safe to this basket that is probably about 20 feet from the water's edge. The mistake to make is to go long on your shot. You just don't want to leave it short and hit the wall.
Yeah, I think that everybody on this card is on the tee pad thinking that they can definitely run this one for eagle. We've seen a few eagles on it for the first couple rounds, 712 feet. Everybody has plenty of distance to kind of get into position to try to carry it into. Yesterday we saw Katrina actually do exactly that and make eagle. She's actually made eagle in both rounds. So it'll be interesting to see as we move to the second card. And if this is a drive, and I think it is, but these women deciding to lay up, I don't think we will be seeing that from our lead card. But it is a par 5, and if you do lay up, I mean, that's just a little pitch shot over the pond. Makes for a fairly easy birdie. So definitely decisions to be made. And as we move forward, we'll be able to see what situations kind of bring up. I mean, if one of them goes into the pond, maybe that'll dictate what they do moving forward as well. It's all speculation at this point as Missy walks up to her lie, maybe with some friendly chat to the other card mates. And she's laid up to the water's edge. It looks like throwing putter from there. So give a good camera view to the viewer to see, as it looks like it's possibly starting to sprinkle there. And a little breeze.
She lands safe to about 20 feet. About 25 feet. I see a splash. Holly is throwing it a bit short.
And a little bit surprising. I mean, obviously she wasn't trying to do that, but
put herself in position on that side of the fairway to really make sure that she could throw that shot and get across, and to make a small throwing error where it just didn't get the disc high enough, or just enough power on it to get across.
Yeah, and it looks like there might be some different things going that we're unaware of, like wind, and like I said, it looks like it's starting to sprinkle a bit. Or as Jessica looked like she was lining up the backhand approach, and now she's switching to that sidearm and catches a little tree limb, but puts it right under the basket. That'll be a drop-in birdie for Jessica Weiss right there, yeah. And that'll get Jessica back to even par on the round.
Now Vanessa's lining up. Looks to be a putter also. She's got it plenty high enough. Go in the basket. That was really close. She's left herself right about 28 feet.
Yeah, and then she's sitting at +1 as well on this round, so that'll get her back to even. And she is also sitting tied for 5th with Haley King right now. as we see Paige throw that with plenty of distance.
Holly's shot is up. It looks to be high enough this time. And she's in the circle. We're going to go back to the tee of hole 6. Paige just put it out the fairway, plenty of distance. We're now going to Jen Allen. That's way down the fairway.
Yeah, that's a good 40 feet from where the previous card was laying up to.
And that shot good as well. Haley has a lot of power, Paul. It's out there. She turns it over just a little bit. I believe that's safe. I didn't see it cross the path.
I think it actually did cross the path. I think that's going to be sitting out of bounds on the right side of the path. We're going to switch over to the green real quick to get the second card putting on this green, and Holly missing a putt just inside the circle there, and Vanessa lining up her birdie putt. This is to get back to even par on the round.
And she cashes it.
And that's a good catch. A little left, but good putt nonetheless. And she'll be, getting back to even par.
This is a very good putt. Right in that tester range. Holly makes good from there.
Or over.
Like you said, Paul, it looks like Katrina was out of bounds. Now they're working on where she's going to take her lie.
Yeah, and not only did she, leak it right out of bounds, but now she has, I think the only option from here is just to lay it up. Or no, I think this might be a camera position that we're seeing from the green. And yeah, and she's deciding to go over.
What a good shot.
That's a beautiful shot all the way up there. She's going to have
a world-class shot.
Yeah, she's going to have 20 feet for birdie, even with her out of bounds. Really took no time, just kind of lined it up and threw what looked to be exactly the way she drew it up.
Paul, I don't think that was any easy shot either. She did have to put some turn on the disc in order to hold it. From our view, it looked lightly around that tree, but in order to have the speed control to land on the green like she did.
Yeah, and she, she does throw a good shot there. And then as we see Paige approach, she's going to have that putt for eagle. And with the mistake of the out-of-bounds stroke off the tee from Katrina, we're looking at possibly a tie ball game now, if Paige can make good from where she is. And this could be a nice little momentum boost for Haley if she can somehow get this. That was beautiful.
Wow,
Yeah, she
what a
gets that
beautiful
one.
shot.
And she'll be right at about 28 feet for eagle as well. And this lead card making real easy work of this kind of shorter par 5.
Here's Jen way down the fairway. Definitely showing that she is the world record distance holder. Showcasing that distance on that drive. She's really drawing up the angle. She wants to see the disc in her head, making sure to get it off.
And that needs to go, and it does. And
up just outside of the circle. It's a great shot. She made sure to have all the speed she needed to clear.
If you guys like the H3 V2, but maybe you're looking for just a little bit more flip up and glide, the H4 V2 is gonna be your disc. I'm absolutely loving it, and it filled a spot in my bag immediately.
Zuka is now producing limited edition color choices. Zuka can add custom embroidery to the front and/or sides of the bag. Zuka is now producing limited edition color choices. Zuka can add custom embroidery to the front and/or sides of the bag.
The gallery making their way down the fairway of hole 6. Looks like we're moving on to the green. Jen Allen is going to be out. She has just outside the circle, Paul, to convert for her eagle.
yeah, and she's sitting at even par right now, which is a semi-slow start for the pace that we're seeing on this lead card, and she just doesn't get that one up enough, and you can see her disappointment in that. I mean,
she will be walking away with birdie, but Haley not getting that one up enough either.
and Paige missing left as well. So I don't know if it's nerves or what, but we saw 3 very makeable eagle putts there. Nobody's able to convert. Kat makes the mistake off the tee, but then throws an amazing shot to this position, and she makes this. She won't, no damage done, and she'll maintain her lead. We'll move on to the next hole.
Oh, really the first putting mistake we've seen from her today, too.
Yeah, leaves that one a bit right, and you get the feeling that the pressure's mounting for all of these players. Feels a little bit, the intensity feels a little higher on the card. you know, we're on hole 6. We're kind of running out of holes, and now we have a tie game atop the leaderboard, and you're just getting that feeling that everybody kind of knows that the round's kind of drawing and the front nine's almost over. And yeah, moving into hole 7, par 3, 288 feet. This comes in as the 14th most difficult hole, so fairly easy. Par 3, really no trouble to worry about except for I believe left OB, and I'm guessing we'll see two out of the 4 drives probably land around in the circle and maybe just outside the circle. I believe that's pretty much been
it's a fair guess on what we're seeing right now. You said the pressure's mounting, so now you know the drives are going to be a little bit more stressed. You know, with the previous hole, the tension that's building, it's going to be more challenging for them to really have to buckle down and focus. This is kind of they need to get this hole, but we'll see as the hole plays out. I want to thank UDisc Live for their incredible product. We get to bring you live stats, live scores here at the Pro Tour. These women are playing excellent golf, Paul. We've seen, you know, we have Paige Pierce at 19 under par, Katrina Allen at 19 under par, and then we have behind them, Jen Allen is 10 strokes behind, with Haley King 2 strokes behind Jen. So, you know, it's still right now, it's a 2-horse race. We're in for a treat.
Yeah, I mean, the reality for the rest of the field is they're going to be playing for those 3rd and 4th positions as Katrina and Paige clear the rest of the field by 10 strokes. But, you know, lots of storylines behind them. We have Jennifer at -9. Missy Gannon from the second card is 2 under through 7. She's at -9. Vanessa Van Dyken -8. Haley King -7. Lisa -6. Holcomb -6. So we have a lot of players
within 2 and 3 of 3rd place.
Yeah, so I mean, and moving back to what we're looking at live here, it looks like they put in a temporary tee pad for the women because of how bad that other tee pad got. I think we saw a few slips yesterday, and
you had spoken to the safety about that during the coverage. And here with Paige, she leaves that one a bit low. She's going to want that one back. She really needs to put a bigger move on that disc to get herself in position.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing a few mistakes from this lead card, but they're still playing at a very high level. I mean, Paige is 4 under through 6 holes, and it seems like she's missed a couple putts here and there. And Jen throws that one up there perfectly. Great shot. She'll be inside 20 feet for birdie. But the rest of the field, you know, it looks like the next best score is going to be 3 under. So not quite the scoring conditions we saw yesterday, not quite the scores we saw yesterday. Haley throws this one with a little bit too much turn, and this has got to get out of that bunker, and she will not. She'll be taking, I believe, another penalty stroke there.
Unfortunate miscue there.
And her already being +2 through the 6 holes, I mean, that's just a mistake she can't afford to do at this point in time. Hopefully she can turn this round back into the positive. And
Trina throws a good shot there.
Yeah,
she's going to be in the circle and with a good chance to take back the lead.
I can throw this disc around the world in one shot.
Never play disc golf too far into the jungle. There may be cheetahs.
Someone on your card can't recall if they threw a 6 or a 7. It was probably an 8. See? Stay getting birdies, my friends.
Wear what the pros that film the pros wear. Savage Pro Tour apparel. Full body dye sub technology. Sweat wicking polyester. Lightweight Cirrus jersey. Made in the USA. Are you savage? Wear what the pros that film the pros wear. Get yours today.
Here's Paige from about 50. She gives that a good run.
Gives it a little lean. And I think next up will be Haley, who unfortunately threw it into the bunker and will be taking a penalty. She should have entered that bunker. Oh, well, I guess because it's bunker, she'll be putting it from there.
She'll probably be looking at a 28 to 30 foot putt.
No,
she's outside for sure.
Yeah, she's about 40, 45 feet here. Takes no time though. Just a little bit off. And, you know, one of the frustrating things, especially in a round, is when you have a two-way miss with your putting stroke. It looks like she's missed low a few times. It looks like she's missed high. She's missed right. It's tough to really correct that during the middle of the round. As we see Jen walk up and sneak that one in the left side, but that's good for birdie, and that'll move her to 10 under par. Momentarily will move her only 9 back of the lead.
Kat puts that one in after having missed a similar putt on the previous hole. She makes that correction. She now takes sole lead at 20 under par. Paige is going to walk away with par for this hole.
Yeah, 2 birdies, a bogey, and a par. And we're off to hole number 8.
Hole number 8 coming in at the second most difficult. Par 4, 535 feet long.
Yeah, it looks like you want to throw, you know, another one of these low ceiling with a slight turn, something that's going to land soft. And really the most difficult part about this hole is the speed control into the basket. And this seems to be a common thing for this common theme for this course is speed control into these greens. You can see this basket on top of this stump. And as we move forward, it seems like, you know, we have almost an uneasy feeling on this card with the competitors. There's nobody completely on. You know, it seems like everybody's kind of making minor mistakes here and there. It's down to a 1-stroke lead for Katrina. You know, Paige 4 down through 7 holes. She's playing very well, but
she's currently the hottest person playing out there right now on the course for her score.
But still, we're seeing her make, you know, some mistakes we didn't see yesterday. So seems like the other 2 people on the card are kind of struggling on the green. Jen just made a nice putt for birdie, but Haley really struggling with her putter and control off the tee. We see the rest of the leader card kind of making their way up. Callie, who we had the privilege of watching the first round, I believe, moves to 1 under, and she breaks onto the top 10 leaderboard. So that's nice to see her coming back. But yeah, I mean, as we go back to the second card here for some action, this is Vanessa.
She is currently sitting at 1 under on the round. and a tie for 6th.
And she turned that one over nicely. I mean, low ceiling shot, definitely looked like she was very in control of that shot and should put herself into position for.
That's the shot she threw when we had her on camera last time, and she threw it perfectly where she wanted.
Holly throws a similar shot as her. The most important thing about this tee shot is the height. You really want to throw the anhyzer that kind of keeps your disc from lifting into those branches. And there is an OB creek to the left, so I think that's one of the main reasons why they're trying to throw this slight turnover.
Missy's height is a little bit off. She gets a little bit of a cut, and as you can see, her lie is going to leave her somewhat obstructed with those branches on the tree. So her approach is going to be quite challenging.
And this one is going to be challenging as well. Looks like maybe if they want it, that'll be a wide hyzer or something.
Poison ivy ruins the best day outdoors.
Honey, careful. I saw poison ivy.
The rash is ugly, itchy, and spreads quickly. Zanfel's your answer. Skip nutty remedies and expensive visits to urgent care. When you get poison ivy, get Zanfel. No side effects. Safe for kids. Zanfel washes away the toxin that causes the itching rash. Complete relief. Zanfel lets the healing begin. Got poison ivy? Get Zanfel. It works.
Love getting outside and challenging yourself to become better? How about spending time with family and friends, or just marveling at the pure joy of flight? Then you've come to the right place at the right time. Join the PDGA.
When I need to check the wind, I just let out my hair.
Disc golf is 90% mental. The other 10% also mental.
If you want to make new friends on the course, pick up someone's disc in the fairway by accident.
Stay getting birdies, my friends.
This is the First Run IPA.
Come visit us in Bend. You'll get fresh beer, you'll get some hospitality, and I guarantee you'll either see Val, Justin, or I.
As fresh as you can get it, right here.
And I need to check the wind. I just let out my hair.
Disc golf is 90% mental. The other 10% also mental.
If you want to make new friends on the course, pick up someone's disc in the fairway by accident.
Stay getting birdies, my friends.
Hi guys, I'm Alyssa Van Lannen. You've probably seen me hiding in front of the tee pad or laying in the bushes trying to get the best shot. For the best moments in disc golf on and off the course through my photos and videos, check out patreon.com/Alyssa Van Lannen.
We're moving onto the whole green, onto the green of hole 8. Jessica Weiss has this. Looks like she's just going to lay this up. That is not really a basket that you want to challenge from that far away with the water behind the basket. Here's our tee on hole 8. Jen puts a big move on the disc. She's going to put herself way down the fairway. As you can see inside the smaller screen, that was a really good putt by Holly Finley. Katrina also throws a great drive, crests the hill. It's going to fade down into the fairway into a very good position, I believe.
Vanessa knocks that one down for what looked to be a birdie as Paige lines up her tee shot here on hole 8 after watching 2 very well executed drives. And that's going to be pretty tricky. It looked like she might have got far enough to where she'll have, a shot at the treacherous green of hole 8. Haley catches one of the guardian trees in the fairway and kicks a little bit right. Looks like she might only have about a layup from there.
Well, you had asked me yesterday during our coverage, what do you think about the elevated baskets? I'm going to turn that one back on you.
Yeah, no, I like them. I think it adds an extra element to, obviously putting. And I'm not a big fan of having, 9 of them on a course, but it definitely makes you have touch kind of coming into the greens. And if you mess up, 20 footers are a little bit tougher, and it's something that I enjoy seeing on the course. I think that the Pro Tour likes them so that they can put their banners up and
take care of our sponsors.
Yeah, take care of our sponsors and stuff, which is also very important. And it looks like Paige is checking the wind, trying to decide if she wants to go over and challenge this, challenge this green or not. She's probably sitting at about, I would say, 300 feet down the hill to clear. We saw yesterday her throw a sidearm a couple of times and had the right at about 300 foot worth of power. So this is testing it.
Paul, that's looking pretty good. She has all the power she needed to clear it, and that's going to roll right back down into decent position for putting.
I mean, this is
challenging
decent,
putt.
But it's interesting. That's like right at that range to where you walk up to it, and it's really tough to lay it up, and it's really tough to kind of go after it. So she's going to have another kind of tough decision whether to run that putt or not. I can't imagine her not running it, but We saw Vanessa have a even shorter putt, kind of hit right side chains and go into the water. We saw earlier on a screen that the viewer wasn't able to see, but Holcomb miss a putt and go in the water. So this is the highest elevated basket that we have on the course. And if you miss deep and have that putt coming back, if you miss the putt, very good chances you go in the water and it costs you too. And we see Haley has struggled a bit off the tee today, which is surprising as I look up a few of her stats for the tournament. Even after today, she is still holding on as #1 for fairways hit. So that's been her strength to kind of lean on through this whole tournament, as we see her kind of missing fairways here and there. So on this back nine, as we approach the back nine, hopefully she can get back on track and figure that out.
Like we said off the tee, Kat's shot looked to be very good. She looks to have a fairly unobstructed approach. As long as she has her distance right, and she does.
Yeah, she throws putter into the green, which is a huge advantage to be able to throw something that you can get the nose up and land it with some nice touch and not have to worry about that skip going deep in the basket.
And like we saw on one of the previous holes, Jen threw this one way down the fairway. She's going to also have putter approach. What would be the key spot? What do you think would be the key spot to land from this position, Paul, on the green?
I mean, she shouldn't be landing from this distance any further than 10 feet. Kind of catches a bad break and hits the top of it and goes to almost a tester range, but
that was that distance where you're kind of doing a throw and a jump putt, and having that distance in between, we said can be challenging.
Yeah, almost a bad break that she hit the top of that stump and pushed her a little bit, further. But I mean, she's inside of 18 feet. She can calm the nerves. That shouldn't be that tough of a putt. And Haley is in a position to where she's actually going to be able to run this, not having to really worry about missing the putt and going into the water.
Like you said, the natural fate of the disc from that angle is going to go away from the water. And here we're going to get a look at how Paige runs this.
Yeah, and she's almost pin high as well, so there is a little bit of leeway she has as well.
And she puts it right on the middle.
She gives it a nice little fist pump there. She knows that, we're coming towards the end of that front nine, and makes another birdie that's 5 down through 8 holes. She's playing at a very high level.
Kat needs to cash this putt to stay 1 ahead.
Now I don't know if there's any question. For birdie. Haley puts that in for par. Hole 9, we're going downhill 301 feet. You need to break the disc from slightly left to right in order to
have an open look at this green. If you come in a little short on the right, you're going to have a couple bushes in this tree in the way. The OB to speak of would be deep of the basket, about 32 feet, and a barn that's early of the hole. That shouldn't come into play with the way these ladies are throwing. This is definitely a control shot. They really need to control their angle in order to get a good look at this basket.
Yeah, we saw Paige, I believe this is the hole. I think she threw sidearm yesterday down the fairway and put that one in the circle. And we saw a few other quality shots into this green. I think, like you said, the only trouble on this one is when they're throwing and that right side becomes, comes into play. If you, let's say, turn it over or something of that nature, you'll take on those bunker bushes on the right. But I would say the correct play is just to throw it as straight as possible and then try to get a little break right in front of those bushes in that tree to the left and leaving yourself about 25 to 30 foot left of the basket. And Jennifer, after having a slow start on the first 5 holes, shooting even in that stretch, has now strung together 3 birdies in the row and actually has taken the box. So she's back into sole possession at 3rd place and
sitting right on the edge of the circle with that drive.
Yeah, and puts yourself in position again.
Katrina's taking a similar line. She's going to be right behind that bush. It'll probably be a straddle putt, but she's below the hole, and she's already shown that she's hitting pretty well from below the hole.
Yeah, I think that bush looks a little bigger than we think, so it might be tricky for her to get all the way around and not have an obstructed lie there, have a clean look at the basket. Distance really isn't the issue there. She's well in the circle. It's just going to be on the stance that she has.
Like you said, Paige opting for sidearm again. She's left that a bit short, and she also has some of these willow branches that are going to be in her putt. It's going to be interesting to see how she attacks this once she gets there.
And that's more of the way that I thought that they were going to play the hole, to kind of go right at that left willow and either beat it either side of it to give her, self a little 18-footer, which she desperately needs at this point. She's struggling a bit right now, but that'll get her moving in the right direction as we go to commercial. Just flush the toilet on live television.
Here we have Kat's putt. We had talked about it being slightly obstructed, and she makes good.
I think slightly is an understatement. She was right behind that bush, and she's able to go directly over it. It looks like she was far enough behind it to where it was almost like a normal putt. She puts it right in the center, and she's gonna maintain her lead, or no, actually gain 1 stroke on Paige here. So she's gonna now be 2 ahead.
Haley gets it over the top of the cage. That's going to start putting her back in the right direction. Paige taps in for par. Hole 10, par 3, 393 feet. We're going to see this group of women showcase their distance. They need to put one out there pretty good, probably a little bit of turn. There's not much in the way other than turning the disc over too far and going into the water.
As we look at the scoreboard, Pete, we see Jessica Weiss at -1 through 9 holes. And we mentioned earlier as we started the show that I felt like we thought that 8 to 7 down was going to be one of the hotter scores on the day. And it seems to be shaping up into that exact way. A couple 3 downs, but really nobody scorching it. We have Paige and Katrina both 5 down through 9 holes, which are very good scores. And if they can have, similar back 9 to 5 to 6 down, we're going to see that'll shape up to be a scorching round like yesterday. But the feeling that I'm getting on the card is the play might slow down a bit on the back 9, and we're going to see more of a chess match of maybe a couple layups, maybe position golf, something of that nature as the round unfolds. And we have a couple other notable names. Missy Gannon is 2 down through 9, and she's moved into 5th, or she's maintained her spot at 5th place. Haley King has dropped down 3 spots. She's +2 through 9. Nice birdie on the last hole, though, to kind of get her moving in the right direction. As we had just mentioned, Missy, she, I believe, is taking a meter from possibly an out-of-bounds stroke, and let's see what she can do from there. You had mentioned really one of the only mistakes would be to turn something over into this pond, and it looks like she's done exactly that. Looking at her stats, I noticed that the way she's been able to really put together these good rounds is she's at the #1 putter inside circle 1. So she's been able to have success inside circle 1, as we see her draw a medal from about 60, 70 feet there.
Jessica Weiss making a good putt right there.
Yeah, we saw Jessica Weiss struggle a bit in the first round, having a better second round and making her way to second card. She's actually the defending champion from last year, so nice to see her make a push there on moving day as they clear off the green, and we're going to go to the tee pad and see what our featured group can do. This whole card has plenty of distance, especially playing down this hill to give themselves some good looks. I think the key is throwing with a bit of turn like she has.
That's moving good.
Yeah, that's going to be short, though. I mean, that's going to be right at 60 feet. Yesterday we saw her come up in a similar position Haley King is going to be next. I'm interested to see the power that she's going to display here. I'm sure with a little bit of frustration to be unleashed with her play thus far. And that's
she
good.
does.
Yeah. Clears that kind of bunker, high grassy area pretty easily. And that's going to put her in the circle. And hopefully we'll see her make 2 birdies in a row. As I think the key to this is throwing that slight turnover to get the distance that you need. As
Jen asking that one to fight back, and I think that is going to make it just, wow, she flies past the basket. Just
misses the water's edge, and she's going to be going from about 45 feet.
Yeah. And here's Paige. We saw her throw this exact line, and this is going to be within, I think, 10 feet, Pete. This is perfectly thrown.
And boom.
Throwing a beautiful drive.
And unless Katrina can make one of those awesome outside the circle putts that we've seen them kind of do over and over this tournament, Paige is going to be within 1 again.
And we're going to move to commercial.
Today, we'll be talking about the Nuke. The Nuke is a wide-rimmed, fast, maximum distance driver. When throwing on a wide-open course with the Nuke, I'm using it to unleash maximum backhand distance potential. Due to its slim profile and wide rim, the Nuke also fits really well in the hand when throwing sidearms. If I'm looking to throw down some boom sauce, I'm going with the Nuke. You can pick one up at Discraft.com or your local disc golf retailer.
As our lead card has moved down the fairway of 10, Katrina's approaching her lie. Let's see if she can cash in one of those incredible putts that she's been able to do throughout this week. Paul, the ball has moved. It was yesterday setting right about where Katrina is standing, and now it looks like it's blown to the corner of the pond.
Yeah, it's out
Breaking
of bounds.
news. It's out of bounds.
And that was a good run from there. Yeah, it looked like because she was in that high grass, she wasn't able to take her normal stance that she's been used to with that kind of push spin putt that she's developed this year, and tried to give it a little toss kind of layup. So no harm, no foul. I'm sure she wanted, to be a little closer on the drive, but as we move to Jennifer Allen, looks like she just lays that one up.
Yeah. That green drops, and if anything misses by any chance, it goes quite a ways away. Haley makes for birdie. Good putt, excellent drive.
Yeah, that's a big time putt. That's going to move her back into a tie for 5th. For momentarily, for a little bit there, she was actually dropping almost out of the top 10. So that was a very good stroke on the last hole and this hole to get a couple in a row and get herself back in contention for that 3rd place
That
spot.
was Paige to bring it within 1.
Cat's going to tap this one in, and then we are going to move to a commercial break, Pete.
It's fun.
I'm Matt Paxton, extreme cleaning expert from TV's Hoarders. People turn to me when they have big challenges. When it comes to making commercial and office buildings look their best, big jobs require big help. When you need your cleaning services to keep your employees working in a professional environment, you can count on the ServiceMaster Clean experts to get the job done with consistent, thorough, and absolutely reliable service every time. ServiceMaster Clean, where the experience matters.
We're on the green of hole 11. I believe this is third card tapping out their putts. I believe we're going to go back and we're going to have a chance to watch the second card tee off. hole 11 is par 3, 383 feet. You're going to have to throw a very big shot into this green. And we're on the tee with Vanessa Van Dyken. You know, Paul, this hole is 6th in difficulty with only 2 birdies on the day.
Yeah, it's a tricky shot. I think, you know, the play is to throw something that's going to kind of crest to the right once it gets down that hill, kind of speed up, and then try to match kind of that skip angle into the hillside, maybe get like a little cut roll or something. And that is a mistake that is just, yeah, that's just a big time mistake. Now she's going to have a similar shot into the green from there. I mean, that only went, you know, 50 feet. So
yeah, she's going to have.
But that kind of displays what you want to do here. She's trying to throw it low to basically the higher you go on a downhill shot, the more left it's going to go. So she was trying to keep that a little bit low and just kind of did it a little too much, as Jessica shows exactly what I was trying to explain. And if she can get a cut down there, which she doesn't, but that puts her right outside the circle. And you know, the course designer has done a really good job of making a lot of these greens super tough. I mean, we're seeing a lot of slopes. We're seeing high-rise baskets. We're seeing water right behind the basket, different things like that. And that's one of the things that we've seen Katrina and Paige do a lot better than the rest of the field, is they're just making all kinds of different putts. And when you have tough greens like this, you're going to be able to kind of push ahead of the field, which is what we've seen so far as Missy Cannon lines up this tee shot. Let's see if she can turn this over just a little bit. And that seems to be the mistake that I see, is they really want to turn that over, but they're kind of maybe, you know, playing a little bit tentative because they know not a lot of people are birdieing this hole. So
if you turn it over too far, there's the OB pond, and that can come into play pretty quickly if you don't have that control. Paul, we have a look at the leaderboard. You know, Paige Pierce setting at 6 under par. Like we were talking, you know, we were thinking 6, 7, 8. You know, it looks like we may have a chance to get to 10 under. But like you said, as we go through this round, as we're moving into the back 9 and see the pressure building, that may slow down just a little bit. We all would like to see it go into double digits for this. We're going to go back and we're going to watch Vanessa's shot. She, like you said, didn't crest that hill. She kind of caught a cut edge on it, and it kicked her right down here. She has probably 340 feet to the green still.
yeah, difficult shot. It looks like she's going to choose a mid-range or a fairway driver, standstill approach. She has an awkward lie here. And I mean, this is going to be tough to get up and down. She's still a good 300 feet away from the basket. And that's going to go left, and she'll be able to pitch down the hill, but unfortunately that's going to be for bogey.
No, Paul, this hole isn't a picnic. It's the 3rd most difficult hole on the course. Like I said, we've only got 2 birdies on the day with Madison Walker and Lydia Lyons. You know, we've got a lot of 3s on the hole, but you know, I think it's divided up where there's quite a number of bogeys and only a couple doubles.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think they're seeing that if they do turn it over, it's going to be tough to, you know, slow the disc down and have the touch into the green. And so you're seeing a lot of them kind of just concede the hole and play into that hillside left and short so that they have that kind of touch, almost just a jump putt down the hill for easy par. One thing I know for sure is it's a lot steeper than we probably think And as Holly lines up, that's a little bit left, and she's going to have kind of a tricky putt there to save her par.
Like you said, the hill is pretty steep, so everything that you're going to putt here is going to be somewhere off stance. It's going to push you to not your comfort zone unless you are a straddle putter, coming back up the hill.
Yeah, the one thing that's nice is there's a few down logs behind that they're using as barriers. So if you do catch a bad roll or something, it looks like those are able to catch you and leave you about 20 feet or so.
Vanessa played the hill there pretty well. She understood that she was going to throw it at the ground, get that skip, and kind of get that cut to the basket. That was a very well played shot.
That one's going to be in a similar position as Holly, and it's just a tricky putt. As we see, it's looking pretty overcast and almost has a little gloomy feel to the round today. The sun's not out. You can feel the pressure mounting for all of these players as Jessica throws that Anheuser putt into the ground, and she should be fine from there. But it just feels like one of those rounds. I know we've both been a part of those where you kind of wake up and it's tough to kind of get going and not going to say you don't feel optimistic, but kind of just almost like a boring feeling.
We got to get the job done today.
Yeah,
it's not sunny, like you said, so you really are just like, okay, let's go get this done today.
Yeah, as we see, through the group, we're not seeing a lot of smiles. More, you're more, let's get down to business.
Yeah,
type thing.
A lot of focus.
Yeah, focus. Better word than.
Earlier in the earlier rounds, the focus is there, but like you said, you have a lot more optimism. And now, when you get down into these, the second card, the third card, you kind of know, like right now, Paige and Kat are well ahead of everybody. And so, well, it's not in play for myself to get the win, but I really still need to focus and jockey myself into the best position possible. And so I think that would go towards what you're saying with the way that the cards are playing, with the way that these women are focusing.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things, especially with this division, is how many do we have in the division as a total?
We should have 44.
Okay, so if we have 44 people, you're looking at right around 11 to 12 spots who are going to get paid. So, and that's kind of where we see all these players jumping in and out of. So, not only is your position on the line, but cashing's on the line. And I know when I've been kind of in that position and battling for that last cash spot, you're obviously not playing your best. And so there's that. But then, there are other things on the line, like cashing's a big deal. I know that that's something that we all really strive for. So as we see, a few of these people kind of battling in and out of that position, that definitely becomes a factor. As Haley King lines this up, she's turned this one over way, way too much. I don't even know what's over there. I know the pond's over there. She looked like she hit the branches. Yeah.
Paul, do you see Paige attacking the green fully?
Yeah. Yes, I do. I think if she throws a little bit of an Anheuser here at all, this is going to be right around the circle. Yeah, and this is perfect.
What a shot.
Yeah, that's going to leave her right around 20 to 18 feet down the hill. That was perfect. I also think that Katrina's going to do the same. We saw her throw this disc on the par 5, so it is kind of a flip-up disc. She's going to need that to skip left a bit. And that's going to be right at the top of that hill, about 45 feet, 40 feet. but being as downhill as it is, that's only going to play about 30 feet or something. So she does have the option to run that. And that had a really...
That was looking really good until it touched that branch.
And then now it's going to just be a layup. I'm curious to see where Haley even ended up. I'm guessing she ended up in that pond, but I'm not sure. As we see a nice gallery following them, we also see a nice the film crew, I believe. GK Productions is also filming next day coverage for this card. So if
you'd like to go back and see a condensed version of today's round, you'll be able to go and see their post-production.
As Haley walks over to these woods, I mean, she could have caught these trees, I guess, and it looks like somebody just knuckles the cameraman to say, hey, man, I found it. Oh, boy. This is straight jungle in here.
Her caddy getting fully into the game.
And judging by this, how thick this is, she might just be throwing right back out to where this cameraman is.
Throwing backwards.
Wow, tough. That's a really tough spot. And not only that, now she has a tough shot into this green still. I mean, she has 250 feet.
You know, compared to the tee shots and compared to the other women who are slightly above the hole, here she seems to be about level with the hole. So now the action that the disc is going to have coming into this green is going to be a little more accelerated. And she plays that perfectly.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's going to be for bogey, but nonetheless, a good shot from there. And she didn't go into the water. That's a plus.
Yeah, she didn't let one mistake compound into another.
As the rest of the women get into position, Jennifer looked like she had a really nice line on that disc, but, you know, we had talked about it when we began the hole, that the height was a big issue, you know, keeping that disc low, and that one was just leaked a little bit high and catches one of the branches, and now she has to figure out what side of this bush she wants to lay up on.
Well, she's opting for the knee right now, probably to get under that branch, to keep the disc from being too high coming down, and she plays that well.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Now we're going to move up to Katrina's lie. This looks somewhat obstructed by that bush there. I kind of expect her to just lay this up.
Yeah, I don't think she runs this at all. I think if that bush isn't there, maybe she thinks about it for a half second, but this will just be a layup.
Yeah. Now as we move down closer, Paige is going to have this to tie it up.
Yeah, and we saw her on the par 5 actually have a putt to tie for the lead, and she missed it a bit left. Let's see if she makes the correction on this one.
She does, right in the center.
Yeah, that was a very nice stroke.
For a Zuga Kart replay.
She putted that one very hard as well, leaving nothing to chance.
You know, well, every time we've seen her go to a knee around a bush so far, as far as I can recall in the last couple rounds, she's made them. Haley getting up and down for what I believe is her bogey. We said is fortunate enough for that to not compound into something worse or having actually been
Whoa.
Yeah, that's a pretty bad mistake there from Katrina. That was interesting to see her go from, she's been having that kind of a pitch putt in the circle and putting very well, and then she switched to kind of an old style of a spin putt and just pulls it a bit off the basket. Really didn't take her time, and for the first time this round, Paige is actually going to now take the lead.
Wow. Now the momentum is in Paige's court.
Sure, but then we go to hole 12, this par 3, 260 feet, or is that?
Yes, it's par 3.
280 feet, pardon me. And this is an island green. This could be another two-stroke swing either way. We said that yesterday, and then we watched them both hit the island, have really no problem with it. But today, there's just a little bit of a different feeling on the card. Nerves are now up. We just saw even Paige make a nice putt down the hill, and then Katrina just
lapse in focus.
Yeah, momentary lapse in focus for Katrina, and she misses a short putt there. There's no
gimmies on this course.
No, absolutely. And I'm kind of shocked to see that. But at the same time, really, we're almost used to seeing things like that unfold on these lead cards. There's a lot of pressure for both of them. Really, it's a two-horse race, like we've mentioned 1,000 times. But as one of them makes a big putt for par, those 10-footers, 15-footers, we all know become a little bit further. And as we go back to the coverage from the second card, but back to my point, we're just watching, two of the best players ever to play the game just have battles back and forth. And now Paige is taken the lead at 22 under par, as Vanessa on the second card misses a bit high and right. But I mean, let's not act like we haven't seen this before. We've seen short missed putts down the stretch of these tournaments from both of those players. The pressure is just at an extreme level right now.
Good putt from Jessica.
And Missy being the number one putter inside the circle thus far this tournament. Hopefully we don't do the classic commentator jinx.
And we're solid.
Nice.
Paul, as we go down this leaderboard a little bit, as Holly Finley taps out, Paige is setting at 7 under for the round. Katrina at 4 under. Jennifer Allen's at 3 under. Lisa Fakis is at 4 under. So, she's moved up 4 spots. She's now tied for 6th place. So a bit of movement there. Haley King has moved down the board just a little bit, but she's still, hanging solid in the middle of the top 10.
Sure, and we're seeing a few under par scores out there. A few notable scores. Tiger Borth pops a little 1 under par today, and that brings her to plus 10. So for the play that she's shown thus far, that's pretty good. We have a few more under par rounds from Paige Bajurkis is about to be done with her round, but she's sitting at 1 under as we get back to the action here.
Very key tee shot.
Paige. This is 2 turned over. This is not going to. Actually, it looked like to me that was going to stay a little bit low, but that makes the island, and that's plenty fine. That was a great shot. I'm used to seeing them kind of try to throw hyzer over that, and look like really she kind of flattened that out. Yeah. As we see the spotter sit in position right now. And thank you to all the spotters out there and volunteers. Without you, tournaments would not be possible. And that is just the truth of the matter. Here is Haley. This needs to get up, Pete.
And she just breaks through the front edge of the green.
Yeah, she was hitting the tops of those
setting
the grass
CTP,
line
what it looks like.
the whole time. So,
you know, it's really interesting, Paul. We watched Paige's shot go straight out for a long ways, and to see that green actually would be in our view without the tall grass. Kat's shot's looking very good also.
yeah, and that's just a really good display of composure right there. This is the first time we've seen her not have the lead in a lot of hole speed, and for her to, you know, have that little misfire on the last hole, watch Paige put it on the island and then be able to calm the nerves and throw such a good tee shot. I mean, we said she's been putting the best outside the circle. She also has been parking more of the holes than anybody, and she displays that right now. So looks like at least momentarily she's back in control.
Yeah.
I can throw this disc around the world in one shot.
Never play disc golf too far into the jungle. There may be cheetahs.
Someone on your card can't recall if they threw a 6 or a 7. It was probably an 8.
See? Stay getting birdies, my friends.
Hey everybody, this is Kevin Jones. I'm here with my brand new Prodigy VP3 V2 backpack. And I'm loving this thing a lot. It's extremely lightweight. It's carrying all the discs I could ever ask for. It's pretty sturdy and durable. I've got my 2 putters up here, no problem. Room for a towel if need be. It's really lightweight, it's extremely efficient, and for all you, it's extremely affordable. So come check it out.
Paige looks like she's going to take her time a little bit here, line this one up. Looks like she might need to fix a chain link on the basket there. This is going to be a nice test of the nerves as well. She's sitting right at about 30 feet. Let's see.
And she puts it right on the stripe, Paul.
Yeah, no problem. There's a good putt from Jennifer. Looks like as long as I'm sure we're going to see Katrina focus a little bit more on this putt. This is a similar distance than the last hole. And I'm curious to see if she goes to the other stroke, which she does. Yeah, I just don't know why she didn't do that stroke on the last hole and decided to go kind of with a wristy spin. Yeah. This is nice to see. A good star frame from our card.
You know, with that, let's go to hole 13. Hole 13 is par 3, 329 feet. You know, we're bottlenecked on the initial first part of this. And as we get closer to the basket, the fairway opens up just a little bit. Each one of these women has the power to reach there. I think that, you know, I'd expect to see at least 2 birdies on this hole, Paul. What's your take? Right?
Yeah, I think from previous cards we've seen that it's actually tough to get to this green. We see kind of the low ceiling that you have to do, and you really need to take out over the out of bounds on the left hand side, or right hand side, pardon me, and then skip something underneath there. I mean, it's tough to make a prediction right now because our cards kind of all over the place. They're throwing some low shots, they're missing a couple short putts and making long putts. I mean, the intensity is high, but yeah, I would like to see some, you know, some birdies, some of them capitalize and kind of put the pressure on one another. I mean, that is one of the things that we have going for us is we get to watch it here. I know when you're battling for a win, it's never easy. It's always tough. It's stressful, and as Holly lines up this putt well outside the circle, hits the tree, gets a fortunate kick down.
Like you were saying, the ceiling around this basket is low, so you have to get yourself closer to really make for an easier putt.
Yeah, anything outside the circle is going to be tough to have the height to, make anything of distance. Looks like Vanessa is just inside of that area to where she won't have to really worry about the height. She's right at circle's edge. She didn't have to worry about it, but still misses a bit low there.
Like you said, Missy's had a really good
putting tournament so far.
Yeah.
And there's the commentator.
There's the commentator jinx.
Unfortunately, she misses a bit low right there. And Jessica is now up. And we saw her struggle a bit in the first round with the putting stroke. So hopefully we can now jinx her into making this putt.
Yes.
Instead of the opposite, Pete. It'd be nice to see her line this one up and make good from about 18 to 20 feet, maybe a little bit further. She's really taking her time.
Paul, I hear a bit of wind. That's one thing that makes these putts difficult. It's hard to tell exactly what the air is doing around these trees. It swirls, it lifts, it drops. It makes it very challenging.
Yeah, and Holly, Finley, and Jessica Luis are both tied for 11th place, kind of hanging right around that cash line. So maybe nerves were a part of that. Maybe they're just a little bit off, but as we move back to our featured card, who have other things to worry about.
Like the win.
Like winning this championship.
Paul, when you're coming down the stretch here, it's important to note, they've played a lot of holes through this weekend. They've, had a lot of work. They've had a lot of emotions up and down. These two women on top, they've played really good rounds. We had the best putting display we'd seen yesterday. I'll come back to that in a second as we watch Paige's tee shot.
And this looks perfect as long as she can miss the base of that tree. And
wonderful shot.
Yeah, and that's as good as you're going to do right there. Jennifer's had kind of trouble keeping these drives low. Let's see if she can make the correction, stay away from those right-hand limbs, and she has done that. And this looks to be similar. Missed the base of that tree. Yeah, she's going to be 20 feet for birdie. And Jen's kind of like pushed herself away from the field as far as the third place race is going. She has 3 on fourth. This one's a bit high, but dropping nicely.
Nice little wind drop.
Yep. And they have all thrown very good shots, which is going to give Katrina a nice read onto what the wind's doing and what she has to do as well. We've seen her throw this shot, so I'm thinking she's going to be throwing a slight flip up with this blue disc here, and she does do that, and this
also
looks
a very
great.
Wonderful shot.
Kind of catches that little like muddy spot right there and hits the brakes a little bit, so that one's going to be right at about 28 feet, which is going to be the furthest putt on the hole. And here's Paige.
Such a clean pull through the disc.
Yeah, that was very, very well executed. With the J curl right under the basket.
You know, Paul, what I was speaking to earlier is that, you know, that after yesterday's display, there's a lot of adrenaline that runs with that. Over the course of the weekend, when you have these boosts in adrenaline, you have these boosts in excitement, you're playing at a super high level. To come down the stretch, the last, you know, 5 or 6 holes, to be able to keep your energy level up, to keep your body nourished and drink enough water, it all becomes a endurance race.
Yeah, it's definitely emotionally draining to be in these situations, have the big crowds, have the camera crews all over the place. I mean, it takes you out of a routine. If you haven't been in that position, we're seeing Haley kind of struggle a bit in the spotlight here today, and it can get you out of your routine. You have to wait for camera crews to get into position. You have to
wait for spectators to settle down.
Yeah, you can't ask. You can, but normally you're not going to like ask. Like, let's say with her putt right here, we have 2 camera people right behind the basket. That, for somebody who's not on lead card all the time, that's not going to be something they're used to. So that can all come into factor and get you out of your routine. As
Jen makes a great
Jennifer is used to it, and she, you know, she didn't even second guess those camera people. So, you know, that all can have an effect on your play, and it's just, as Haley moves on in her career, she's so talented that she's going to put herself in these positions a lot more, and it'll become easier and easier for her.
An unfortunate miss to the left there for Katrina.
Yeah, we've seen her have or display complete control with that circle's edge to just inside range, and then it's obvious that the pressure is mounting, and she misses a little bit left on that one. And for the first time, I feel like this tournament, she's going to be down 2 shots to Paige, and we're well into the back 9. I mean, Paige is going to have a 2-stroke lead heading into the last 4 holes of the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
As we say that, we're going to roll right into this whole preview of hole 14, par 4, 410 feet. This one, you want to throw a slight left to right turning shot that lands on the right side of the fairway. The reason being is because then you're coming into the green that's almost 90 degrees left around the corner. You're going to want to throw something either stable that skips around the corner. If you get a far enough drive, you might have like a putter approach, something of that nature. Definitely, probably, I would guess, one of the easier holes on the course, only because it's so short and a short par 4 that you can, even with a mistake off the tee, you're going to be able to have some sort of shot into the green, Pete.
Yeah. As you were saying, we have Vanessa Van Dyken, and she's well back in the fairway. She must have thrown a little bit high, ended up under this tree, but let's see what kind of angle she has getting into the green.
She tried to throw the skip shot around the corner. It looked like she kind of threw it a little bit early on the ground. I think she might have wanted the skip to be a little bit later in that flight, and that causes her to skip a little bit early in front of that corner to the left. I don't think that that's out of bounds. I do think that the tall grass is actually out of bounds to the left, but I'm not sure about those bushes right there.
I believe if you're deep enough into those bushes, it can be out of bounds. So it's just going to matter where her lie ends up, and that would be quite an unfortunate mistake to have thrown into there.
Yeah, it looks it's actually opposite. It looks like the tall grass might be inbounds, and then that bush line, as I look at U-disc here, is actually out of bounds. So unfortunate mistake for Vanessa there, as Holly's lining up to what looks to be a sidearm roller. And that's pretty good.
Yeah.
She makes it around that tree and bush line, and she might have about 40-footer in there for birdie. And that just shows you how left that basket is she doesn't even think about throwing a backhand skip shot or something. She has to go sidearm roller, something that's going to take a drastic turn to the left to try to get in position there. This is more of what you're looking for as far as the drive goes, though, because it really opens up that angle into the green.
And she throws a beautiful shot into the green. You said she was far enough down the fairway where she leaned on her probably more comfortable shot. She didn't have to do anything fancy, just control her speed and angle.
Yeah, she was far enough right as well to where it wasn't so much of a right to left shot. It's more of a straight shot. Vanessa's looking for her shot that unfortunately ended up well short of where she was looking. As we wind down this championship, we've seen a few different people kind of jump up into that fourth place position. Jennifer Allen has pulled 4 ahead of fourth, so I feel like our top 3 are going to remain the same, but fourth place is still up for grabs as we see Vanessa, who just pitches out from there from possibly an out-of-bounds lie at -9 under for the tournament, tied with Haley King, who's struggled a bit on our lead card, but still maintaining a high position. Lisa Vajakis is -8, only 1 shot back of that, and then Missy Cannon, who's having a tough back 9 with a bogey and a double bogey, then drops to tie for 7th with Sarah Holcomb. So if we can see Missy knock this one down, it'll definitely move her into a one stroke behind Lisa, who are all battling for those
basically right now that fourth
top
place
10
spot.
positions.
And she cans that from ways, flies it into the basket from about 40 feet.
Yeah, and interesting to bring up that cash line again. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 people tied for that last place cash at 11th. And then 1 or 2 strokes behind there, we have Lauren Butler, who looks to be right at or just outside the cash line at -1. So definitely some.
The story of this tournament looks like you needed to be under par in order to cash. So the difficulty level of this course, has challenged everybody.
Yeah, and here's Holly lining up this putt. But kudos to Rebecca Cox, who shot a 3 under to give her a chance. That'll put her at 1 under for a tournament, which is currently tied for 15th. Like I said, I don't have the cash line exactly. I'm just kind of estimating from how many players are in the field, but typically it's right around 40%. As they all tap out on hole 14. Let's move to the tee pad so we can get back to the action with our featured leader group here with, I believe it's going to be Paige Pierce with the tee pad privileges. Maybe taking their time to watch the gallery in front of them clear, even though I don't see anybody. Maybe they're just kind of chillaxing, man.
Well,
Well, here we go.
Ah, there she is. Maybe trying to get some nice visualization in as she lines up this shot. Yeah, one thing to watch out for is that low branch that you can kind of see in the middle of the tee pad down the fairway. If you hit that one, which she just goes under.
She is leaking left.
Now, see, I don't see an out-of-bounds line on there, and I saw Vanessa when she went in there.
You are correct.
Kind of take a stance, even though it's showing out of bounds on our U-disc. That was a mistake on my end. That's actually safe, but with no angle into the green. So this is a big-time opportunity for Katrina to put something on the right side of the fairway, because if I were to guess, Paige is going to have to throw some sort of sidearm roller or something of that nature, like we saw Holly do, and that's going to make her birdie really tough. So she can get within one stroke here, and time's now running out.
This is a very good shot from Haley. You know, we just saw Jennifer throw a shot way down the fairway, and you know, Haley does the same thing. She puts herself in an easy position to get up and down.
Yeah, one thing to watch out are these low-hanging branches. And this needs to hold, and that's not... That needs to get...
And it gets
all the way through.
Oh, my goodness.
She's going to have a putt for eagle as she fist pumps. She's elated with this result. She's going to be right at 40 feet. I mean, that could be
huge momentum swing for this tournament.
Oh, that could be a big-time break. So we just watched Katrina throw it straight into the bush line where Paige also threw. Paige looks to be, stuck into a really bad position, and Katrina seemingly doesn't hit one tree, goes all the way through.
All the way through the bushes, kicks out the backside, and she's looking for a putt. Now, she's been very good at these putts throughout this event, and this could change the momentum drastically as we move into the last few holes.
I mean, we said it would be great for her to turn that drive over and be on the right side. She had other plans, and she might, if things go the way we think they're going to go, she might have a putt to tie this championship back up. I mean,
just like that, disc golf becomes really exciting when we kind of thought, well, this is going to be quite tough. She still has a chance to get within one.
Yeah, that's nice to have the leaderboard pop up right there. We've been talking about the cash line being right around 15 to 14 players, and we've seen a lot of people kind of pop up and pop down. We see Christine Jennings is actually -3 through 16 holes and pushing herself into a tie for 10th. As we go into the live action, we're going to see Paige is kind of deep in this bush. They don't know that. I don't think they know Katrina actually popped all the way through, do they?
I'm not sure. She celebrated.
Oh, is she out of bounds?
She had a very good idea.
Who was spotting?
I don't know, but Nate's like there.
Yeah, but he was at the T-post.
Yeah, I think you're about right.
You're about right.
Thought it was maybe hit this and it missed this and then just kept going.
So I'm thinking right.
Yeah, anywhere near Jen is fine with me.
So we must be looking at that as out of bounds ball.
Yeah, which makes the shot that Katrina threw and went all the way through, out of bounds, in bounds, out of bounds to a spot about 40 feet. And not only are we looking then at Paige trying to get up, and she actually, they might have given her a pretty good lie to where she has this sidearm turnover, and it might not be as tough as we thought. And if that's the case, she could still get up and down for par. And she's going to be able to do that, it looks like. So not that tough, but that's interesting that that's actually safe. And we saw Vanessa kind of take a stance from in there. Okay. So that's our fault for not having the facts correct on our end, but I mean, still adds to the drama we have here as Jen has an amazing drive, almost a putt for eagle herself, and Katrina is well inside that.
Yeah.
I mean, in order to win these big time championships, Pete, not only do you have to play good, not only do you have to settle the nerves, but a lot of times it's the person who has, a couple of those really good breaks that kind of push you that extra stroke, especially when everybody's playing well. And here's Haley, who has a shot at that Eagle 2 as well. And she's known for these long putts. And just left, but a good stroke nonetheless. And that's going to put her to 10 under par, kind of taking control of that top 4 momentarily, as Katrina's at the circle's edge here. So this putt is the tie for the lead. This is one of those moments that she's been so good at in her career, and she just leaves that show. But she had the right line on it, just misses the height a little bit. Nonetheless, she's still going to pull within one shot of that lead. And what a fortunate break, to get through that out of bounds. And Paige is going to have to line this little 18-footer up, which probably feels more like 30. And it does feel like, I just kind of felt like, I felt like you can kind of feel the tension. Even us here in the booth, you can kind of feel
we're getting
laps.
excited about what we're seeing because we're watching high-level disc golf. We're watching, pressure putts and pressure shots and, fortunate breaks. And like you said, when you're setting in that position, those putts get really far sometimes.
Yeah, you just kind of get the feeling that as Jennifer doing the veteran play and asking them to stand still in the background. But yeah, those putts just don't become easy. And we've seen now both of them miss kind of shorter putts. And like I said before, I mean, there's no reason to act surprised because we see this time and time again to where the pressure mounts so high that these shorter putts are almost harder than the longer ones, it seems like.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I got some information just now that I am completely off with the payout. I'm acting like, these guys are battling for their cash positions, but I just got a note that they're paying out top 29. So everything that I've said for about a half hour is completely false. Still, nonetheless, they're still battling and they want to do as good as they can. But as we look at the people who are going to be in 29th, I had mentioned Tiger Borth earlier in the show, throws a 1 under par, and that's actually going to get her into last cash. So what a round from her, being plus 10 and then finding a way to shoot 1 under par to get that last cash spot. As we look at the top 10, Christina Lithicum with a -2 through 13 or 16 holes. That's a great score. 3 under from Sarah Holcomb, making her way back up the leaderboard. No stranger to the leaderboard there.
Missy Gannon's only dropped 1 spot. She's currently 1 under par at -8, tied for 6th with Lisa Fakis. And Vanessa Van Dyken, she's at 2 under par. She's holding on to that number 5 spot. We're going to move over here to the tee of hole 15. We already got our whole preview fly through. Let's see if she can fly that just the same way that we just saw the drone fly. That's low.
Yeah, and I feel like that's one of the weaker spots of Jen's game. She has so much power to be able to tone down on those like mid-range / putter touch shots. It looked like she even threw almost a different run-up in that one, not the same run-up as we were used to seeing. And Haley turns that one a bit over, yeah. And so now we're tied atop the leaderboard, Pete, and all of a sudden
Cat's left that low also.
And
That shot gets really hard. It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, and she shows her disappointment, and after taking a nice deep breath to, possibly tell herself, hey, it's okay. We have holes left. That's still a putt for birdie, even though it's a long one. And here's Paige throwing it a bit higher and catching a kind of a bad break. Yeah, that's going to be a tester 30-footer herself. That looked perfect, and then all of a sudden left it a bit high, catches a branch, knocks down a little bit further.
We are coming down the stretch, Paul, with a lot of exciting golf to play.
We see the gallery supporting. Even we have a little puppy dog coming up the fairway there. He's been a good boy today. We haven't heard any barking from him. And here's Haley, who's off to the left side of the right side of the fairway, pardon me. She's a pretty good long putter. I mean, we've seen her give, even on the last hole, a nice bid from about 60 feet. I expect this one to do the same.
Oh, she started walking it in. She liked it.
Good, yeah. And with Paige being at about 30 feet, you know that Katrina is going to try to run this one. Something to note, the bushes seem to be a bit in her way, but with her style of putt, she's going to be able to hoist this over that bush, and it won't even be a problem. She's been able to give these good bids, and she misses that one a bit left.
Still had the height, it looked like. Still had about the right push.
Yeah, a solid bid nonetheless. I mean, that's a far putt, especially without even being able to see the basket. And Jen understanding the position that she's in, she's well ahead of Haley, who's sitting in 4th place, 9 back of the leaders. This is a big time moment right here. You can see her kind of back off.
Taking her time.
Trying to compose herself. Going through her routine and pulling it a bit right. And that's a miss that we see down the stretch of these big tournaments for all of these great players is you get a little tense, and with a style of putt like that, we tend to see that miss to be right. You really want it, and you just extend a little bit too much. And yeah, that's going to be an opportunity wasted for sure from Paige Pierce. Good comeback putt from Haley, though. And now she has gone a little bit, gone to that tester. We just saw her miss this putt on the last hole. Taking her time.
Paul, it is to note that, she took a little bit of time there, but she was much quicker with that putt. And for the most part through this event, she's been a little bit quicker on her putt than she had been in the past. And on some of these where she's taken more time, she has missed them. And we're going to remain tied going into hole 16.
Hole 16, par 3, 352 feet. You can see this stump right in the middle where the drone's going to fly over. You're going to want something that starts breaking to the right about now. And once you break to the right, we can now see the basket come into view. And it's just this is a hard backhand for these women because of the way that the fairway is shaped. It's tough to get a disc to fly at that distance and turning at the same time. We saw a few sidearms over the tournament. We've seen a couple backhands. Yesterday, we saw Katrina lay down a roller and it hitting that middle stump. So all kinds of stuff can happen. And
we've seen a couple shots even sneak right of that.
Sure. Yeah. And at this point in this tournament, this is a bonus birdie, in my opinion. This is
right
this
at
is
the top of the
awesome.
ceiling.
That's gonna go deep though.
She has been smashing the disc.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely a shot that went a little bit deep there, but a good flight. Here's Haley. I just don't see both Paige and Katrina birdieing this hole at the same time. So if one of them takes a birdie on this one, it could very well push them to the top, maybe for good. And this is an interesting play.
It looks like she's going to be going with the roller again.
And that has a little bit too much cut. That's going to go way left as we see it finally curl.
She's going to be outside of Haley's shot, which drifted left.
Yeah, I mean, she should be able to get up and down from there, but now the door is wide open. I mean, if Paige can
compose
Paige
herself,
doesn't have to park this hole. She needs to give herself an opportunity. She needs to make this fairway as wide as possible. And I think how you do that is throwing it left side of the fairway and breaking it in front of those bushes on the right. That'll give you a look inside circle two, which she's done that. And this is going to be parked. This is an absolute perfect shot.
Wow.
Wow, what a shot.
What a pressure shot.
That was a beautiful flight.
Paul, we're back in slightly off the fairway with Katrina Allen's shot. She is throwing her approach. Looks to be all right.
It looks like she putted it a little bit past the basket, and we've noticed from the whole entire group that that's kind of that little tester area right now, but I think she'll make good from there. Here's Haley asking who's out, or maybe waiting for camera crew to get into, but maybe waiting for her bag. I'm not sure. What's going on? Oh, waiting. Okay, so they're probably waiting on the last hole. We saw Haley give a pretty good run on the last hole from outside the circle, right at circle two. So no reason why she wouldn't right there. And she does catch us a little bit of a roll, but
still gives that one an excellent bid.
And next up will be Jennifer Allen. You know, one thing I wanted to know before, this round's over is with the information that we got about top 29 cashing in this event, what a platform for Nate and the Ledgestone crew to make for this women's division, and allowing, everybody to travel and know that, hey, I can, get 29th and make a little bit of money. I mean, that's something, in my opinion, that's super important for traveling and all those different things. So hats off to Ledgestone, Nate Heinold, and all the sponsors for
taking care of the women's division so well.
Absolutely. From all the divisions, honestly.
Yeah.
As Paige patiently waits for her turn to putt, and
yeah, they're waiting for the next hole to tee off. They're at least giving them the space.
Yeah, they have the right of way, being the higher hole. In previous rounds, I would say that this would be a knockdown gimme putt for Paige, but high intensity disc golf right here on this leader card, and nothing is a gimme anymore. As she lines it up, takes her time, goes through a routine, and knocks it down.
And notice she was quick. She was efficient at that point in time. She didn't think about it much. She just got up and made her putt.
Yeah, very good putt. And that's to take the lead with 2 holes to play, Pete.
Haley makes good. You know, Paul, it's 2 holes to play, but we're going to move into 17 here in just a minute. And 17 is treacherous. It has a lot of challenge. Jen makes good.
And Katrina lining this up, tapping in, and now we will go to a commercial break as we have a slight backup on the next hole. Hi guys, I'm Alyssa Van Lannen. You've probably seen me hiding in front of the tee pad or laying in the bushes trying to get the best shot. For the best moments in disc golf on and off the course through my photos and videos, check out patreon.com/Alyssa Van Lannen.
think flatness and stiffness on this?
Somewhat flat, neutral stiffness. Danny, this is a sick one.
Dude, I gotta get through all these today.
Cheers to a good day, gentlemen. Cheers.
Yeah,
That's good.
It's a hard day.
That's great.
Welcome back to the women's FPO coverage of the Ledgestone Open in Peoria, Illinois. Right now, currently, Paige Pierce has a one-stroke lead over Katrina Allen. They are quite a few shots clear of third place. Right now, this hole, Paul, has a lot of danger, a lot of challenge. You know, they're going to have to throw a really good shot down the fairway, and then they have a very tricky, touchy putt or approach into the green. This could be another one of those, 1 to 2 shot swing holes. With only, looking at the stats, we have 5 players through today have birdied it. We have, 17 players have shot par, and we've got 11 players at bogey, 3 players at more than bogey. So this is very challenging. It's playing as the 4th most difficult hole in the course. Like we've said, I expect to see some sort of a change here. I'd expect maybe a swing, maybe we tie it back up, or maybe we go up to 2-stroke lead.
Yeah, I mean, definitely all speculation at this point as she waits to tee. I think, the main objective here off the tee is to make sure you get left enough so you kind of open up that green, and so you'll be able to access it a little bit easier, whether it be with a backhand or a sidearm or something like that. I think as you go to the right side of the fairway with any sort of drive, it closes off that green a bit and really only leaves you almost a sidearm option into there. As we see somebody make a very good putt. That's Holly making
out of the bushes,
making a good putt. There is trouble on the left, which is where you want to be off the tee. There is an out of bounds line as Paige lines up this drive. She is afraid of that out of bounds line. That is going right at that mandatory tree. She hits the tree before the mandatory, possibly saving her from having
gone out of bounds.
Yeah, having missed that. So definitely a miscue. She has the power from there to be able to throw sidearm, but it makes that green, it just makes it a lot tougher from the position that she's at. And
Jen pushing the edge of that grass line.
And that could be out of bounds. It could be safe. That's going to be right on the edge there.
Once again, showing she's got all the power, but she's needing to keep it under control. This is a big shot from Haley.
Yeah, if it gets under this branch, it'll be really big.
That was really big.
Yeah, and that's
full flight.
That's kind of the benchmark right there, is you want to throw it to that white pole in the middle of the fairway or a bit left of that. You really only need about 250, 300 feet off the tee to have a shot into this green. And they're all kind of hugging that, but this should skip over to about where that white pole is, yeah. And she'll have a sidearm or possibly putter turnover into that green.
So currently that leaves us with a slight advantage for Katrina.
Yeah, I would say, for sure. A couple things to note is we have only 2 players in the field have gone through this round without a bogey. Christine Jennings, who ended up shooting a 3 down, 3 birdies, all pars, and actually kind of unassumingly Jennifer Allen at 6 under now, who's putting together the second best round of the tournament without any mistakes.
Mhm.
Which shows you that this course really has some sharp teeth, as the rest of the field has not been able to go through, this course without one of those mistakes that compounds into a bogey stroke. As we see Paige making sure, I think that the next card is off the green. I don't think there's a very good shot that she can get this over to that green, Pete.
She's going to really have to force. If she goes forehand, she's going to have to put it up kind of high. And, it's still, by putting it up high on that angle, it's going to have to carry right. And like you said, that green is very fast.
Well, not only like you said, she'll have to put it high, but it looks like those branches in front of her are low. So I don't even know if she has the option to throw it high here. I think she's going to try to skip this one in, and this is thick grass at this point. I don't know if she's going to be able to get a big enough skip.
And it doesn't skip. She's put herself in position to basically push to get up and down.
I mean, yeah, she's end up at the corner, and she'll be able to throw at least a putter approach to not really have to worry about roll away or anything like that. But now the door's open. I mean, Katrina can somehow, at this point, she just wants a look. She just wants to get in there.
Have an opportunity.
Yeah, have some sort of opportunity. I know she obviously really close would be great, but any opportunity at this point she's looking for, because there's only 2 holes left. Hole and a half. And it looks like she pulled that one a bit deep.
We've seen from that spot before, that's a very difficult spot to be in. She may be left with just, an off stance from the knee flick or something to get down into the green, unless she can see through the bushes and kind of put a little flat.
Do you run it from there? I mean, she's, just outside the circle, probably right around 40, 45 feet. She has 1 hole left. Do you try to run that?
Well, I think, like you said, we have a chess match right now, and Paige has left herself kind of high. I don't expect her to miss this approach, but, anything can happen. She still has to play somewhat of an off-angle approach to get in. And unfortunately, we see that Jen has gone out of bounds. She's going to have to take her relief in, and then she still has a couple strokes, though, ahead of the field behind her.
Yeah, she's just looking to throw some sort of shot that crests this hill, and then figure out what she's going to do from there. But yeah, I'm sure she's not thinking about it, but I'm thinking about it. If she doesn't get up and down, there's only going to be 1 person remaining with a bogey-free round, which is quite impressive.
Yeah.
Is she going to try to jump put this?
Pulled it into there.
Yeah, and I can only guess that she's just going to lay that up, especially with the strokes that she has on the players behind her. Paige should be up next from about, and she's just going to lay this one up, knowing that Katrina went a bit deep and should have an obstructed lie into this green. Are you?
Wow. That almost turned into a full-on run.
Oh no, she ran that, and I'm sitting here in disbelief, Pete. I mean, there is no reason to do that.
Yeah, she's got 1 stroke. Cat is stymied up in the bushes.
I mean, she just threw that 25 foot deep into what could be an obstructed lie as well. I mean,
or a long roll away.
I just can't believe that she just did that. Yeah, I'm almost speechless at this point. She has 25 feet up the hill, which is playing more like 30, and now Katrina can just lay this one up and
force her to make.
Yeah, force her to make that with one hole to play. I mean, I cannot believe Paige would run that. Okay, I think we just got a good look at, or a slight look at Paige's putt. I mean, she's still 20 feet, so not as bad as I thought, but still. I mean, it could have easily rolled. It could have easily went back there and not have a very good look.
Mm-hmm.
And Katrina's gotta have to make sure, yeah, not to roll away herself, and she doesn't. Sits down nicely, and Paige is gonna have to march down here and knock down a pressure putt to maintain a one-stroke lead going into the final hole of this championship. She's gonna have to go to, you see these leaves kind of on her shoulders, and just not a really comfortable position right here. This is a tough putt. She's gonna have to really go through her routine here. You see her taking her time, flipping her disc. Knocks it down. No harm, no foul, but still very surprising that she ran that. That was super aggressive down the hill.
Now right here, Katrina's going to really have to focus to make sure she gets this in the basket.
And she does. And now going into hole 18, Pierce with control over the tournament. Now we can say she has control of her own fate. All she has to do is knock down a birdie on the next hole, and she will be the champion, of course, unless Katrina somehow throws it in for ace. But something to note is hole 18, Paige hasn't played particularly well, and Katrina has. So definitely,
once again, we're still wondering what's going to happen down this last hole.
And it's 383 feet across this valley. There's these two guardian trees. It's kind of set in the middle. Very easy to throw a good shot and get stuck behind one of these trees. So it's not over yet. It is now in Paige's control. And as we move down the leaderboard, we can see a clearer picture of what's happening. Jennifer Allen, 2 shots clear of Haley King. Haley King is 2 shots clear of 5th place, which is held by Lisa Vajakis and Missy Cannon. Lisa Vajakis and Vanessa Van Dyken is at 8 under in 7th place. And these are all final scores. So as we come back to this card, you could almost cut the intensity, Pete, with a knife. You can see the focus on each one of these players as they go in for some nice camaraderie and some high fives. It's going to be Haley's box. This is an important shot because Haley's going to give a nice read of what the wind's doing. She gets a nice lift there. That could come into play for these other players. You can
She
see
goes quite a ways
the
left.
trees and the banner kind of moving now. It's a right to left wind on this tee, which makes this play a little bit further. We have the trees on the right. The optimal shot is as you see her lining up a slight anhyzer to kind of fight that crosswind and then fade back into the green. But by doing that, it also makes this fairway a bit smaller because you have to hug that right side tree line. This looks pretty good, but it's turning over.
She's going to have a downhill putt.
I mean, that's a putt for the win.
Yes, it is.
It's a putt for the win right there. Katrina
needs to put this close.
Yeah, she has to put the pressure on Paige to make that for the win. This has been a disc that she's thrown extremely well all day.
It's turning also.
Yep.
Here we are. We're going to have a putt off from near the same spot. One for the win. One possibly to keep it tied.
Yeah, one to put the pressure on for sure. And I think Katrina will be putting first, so there's no other options for her. She has to make it. Otherwise, Paige is going to just lay up further stress-free victory on this last hole.
The Raptor was created for a specific shot, a specific distance, and especially comfort. A lot of thought went into the design of the Raptor. We wanted to make a disc comparable to the Zone that just went a little bit further with that consistency. And with the Raptor, I really feel like we accomplished that.
Passion is more than fiery emotion. It feeds the spark to start your day. It fuels your obsessions. It inspires your dreams. Passion challenges your fears, and it repeatedly bathes you in sweat until you are transformed into a new, better you. Disc golf isn't just your passion. It's ours too.
Here we have a picture of Nate Heinold holding the championship trophy, waiting to see how this finishes. Haley King makes her approach shot.
And I'm wondering if it's going to be Jennifer first or if it's going to be both Katrina and Paige, as I believe this camera angle is depicting the two putts that we're going to see from both Katrina and Paige. And if there is one thing on Katrina's side here, she has putted outside the circle extremely well. She's at 31% from outside circle one. And that's just not even
pretty much over.
Yeah, that's not even I mean, she did putt it high, so I can't say it didn't have a chance, but Paige just has to lay this up, and I can't think that she would do anything else.
Are you kidding me? What? She goes for the putt. She wants to seal the deal with 2 strokes.
I mean, exclamation on top, but give me a break.
She just needed to lay up. What a putt.
Yeah, I'm speechless right now, Pete. I am absolutely speechless.
Jen pitches up. She's going to have a tap in. That's going to seal her fate in the tournament at 3rd place.
Hey, Johnny, what camera are you on?
And here's Katrina. She's going to knock this down for what is going to be a disappointing for her expectations, second place finish. She played great all weekend. A couple minor mistakes down the stretch and some great play from Paige is going to keep her from hoisting the trophy. But I am still shell-shocked with the putt that Paige Pierce just made on hole 18. All she had to do was lay it up for the win. That's all she had to do, and that shows you how aggressive she is. She said, I don't want to just win.
I want to put my foot down.
Yeah.
On this exclamation point.
Yeah, I want to win with an exclamation point. And that is, I don't know how I feel about that. You know, playing as long as we've played, seeing as many things as I've seen, is just so many things that can go wrong with a long putt like that. But then we see her
look at this,
hoisting that trophy, and she's just smiling, thinking,
I did it.
I did it. Yeah, this is incredible.
We're actually I'm gonna give it to you at Eureka again, actually. So I'm gonna take it back, but I'll give it to you again. Do your scores, then we'll talk. And we will do all the payouts for any AMs over at Eureka, and we'll give Paige all the other winners.
You know, we'll wait for an interview with Terry. He's going to interview Paige Pierce, our 2019 Ledgestone Insurance Open presented by Discraft. Paul, what a tournament. What a up and down battle all the way through this round. You know, let's look at what really happened. You know, Paige Pierce must have really wanted to get to double digits on this round. She just shot 10 down in the final round of this event and makes an exclamation, says she deserves to be the champion. Ladies and gentlemen, she is your Ledgestone Insurance Open champion. Paul, I'm speechless still. I'm talking, but I don't know what else to say. Like, that was really an aggressive putt, an amazing putt, a highlight reel putt. That's going to go down for a while as a highlight reel putt for what that putt meant.
And it wasn't just that one on hole 17. You know, the hole before, she had a putt from the top of the hill she tried to make.
She just goes after it.
She just had her foot on the gas, and that's why she wins so many tournaments. And yeah, they've just been going back and forth all year, and it's just like, it was almost like that last putt that she made was personal. You know, it was like, I can just win, but I'm not going to. You know, I'm gonna pop this in. But yeah, what a great performance from all the competitors that we got to see this weekend. What a privilege for us to be able to watch some great golf all weekend. All kinds of different notable names up there. As we look at the scoreboard, let's round out the top 10. Sarah Holcomb in a tie for ninth with Christine Jennings, who is the only woman in the field to be able to go bogey free today. Amazing. Christina Lithicum at 7 under is going to take eighth place. Vanessa Van Dyke in seventh place. Tie for first is fifth is Missy Cannon, and Lisa Haley King in fourth place, which we had the pleasure of watching today. Jennifer Allen obviously playing great, and Katrina coming in second. And we're going to catch up with our champion here in a second, and Paige Pierce, as they get ready.
Paul, I want to thank UDisc. I want to thank the PDGA, you know, the Disc Golf Pro Tour, for providing a platform for people out there to watch championship disc golf, for all of us to be able to sit here and talk about it, for you and I to be able to sit here and talk about it. What an incredible thing that we get to watch. What a day and age where we get to watch disc golf live. You know, a couple of years ago, this wasn't a reality.
Yeah,
and now we
absolutely.
get to watch it.
Thank you to the camera crew as well. And they kind of had it easy this morning. They didn't have any of that weather that was forecasted to possibly be 16, 17, 18. Let's get right to the interview, though. It looks like they're okay. I just got word we're going to get a countdown for that, and it should be.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I am now joined by our champion, Paige Pierce. Paige, let's start with hole 18. Running or laying up?
I'll never tell.
Yeah, I know your game plan. You never let your foot off the gas. Well, you just needed to lay that up. You knew that, right?
Yes, I did. I mean, there was a pretty severe headwind. I guess you guys can't maybe tell in video. So I was literally just trying to land it flat, and it was a little higher than I aimed, and you know, sealed the deal in fashion, I guess. And yeah, it was already going to be exciting, but to end like that was an incredible feeling.
Speaking of incredible feelings, your mom is here watching this weekend. What's that like to win in front of her?
It's awesome. They just moved to St. Louis, so it's only about 2.5 hours away. So when she found out this was here and then Worlds is going to be here in a month, you know, I automatically have family coming, and you know, my dad and stepmom and brother are sending me photos of them watching TV, you know, on the big screen watching. So it's really cool, and this is one of the biggest galleries we've had all year. So it's awesome to have so many disc golfers in Peoria out here supporting, and it makes it that much more exciting to play and hear so much eruption behind you in claps and stuff like that. So it's really exhilarating, and I couldn't be more happy in this moment.
Well, and speaking of exciting, you had a 2-stroke deficit, so you had to come out and you had to be firing today. Katrina wasn't letting up either. What did you do that was so successful out here?
I just kept playing. You know, this course is relatively easy to get birdies on. You know, when you're not getting the birdie, you either missed a putt or you messed up the drive, and so it was just kind of minimize mistakes and just, like you said, keep my foot on the gas. And you know, I thought if I shot double digits, I could win it, and yeah, managed to do it.
Well, so many people will be talking about, is this a preview for what we're going to see in Worlds? You just mentioned we're back here in 6 weeks. This is one of the courses, of course, we'll see at Worlds. I think we're going to see a competitor like Katrina Allen be challenging you. What does this mean as you may take confidence or whatever it is moving into Worlds in just a few weeks?
You know, I don't think that Worlds is going to be won on this course. This is good for me to get some preparation and know what discs I want to throw. But Worlds is going to be won at Northwood, and you know, they redesigned the course. It looks incredible. You can tell that they went to work the day we left, pretty much, and it's tough, very tough, super tight, OB line fairways, 500 foot, you know, with thousands of trees, and you know, Missy and I have been going there every day after our round and putting in some time there and getting dialed for Worlds. I don't think Worlds is going to be won here. This is just, I think if I could shoot 5 under each round at this course, I'll still be able to win if I tackle Northwood well.
This is just a playground for you to collect birdies. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, honestly, it's get the birdies here because you're going to get bogeys at Northwood.
Well, you did it. Well, as you said, you have family here. There's thousands of fans and friends and family out there watching. Anything you want to say to everybody?
Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thank you guys for, you know, providing the video and letting my family watch at home, and all the thousands and, well, hundreds of thousands of disc golf fans out there. This is so awesome, and, you know, go share the videos. Go share them. If you guys want to keep watching these videos, you have to be positive about it. So maybe the feed goes out, maybe they miss a putt, who cares? Go share it, say how much you like it, and let's keep growing this thing.
All right, well, we're going to sign off, send it back to the booth, but first I have to say, Paige Pierce, your champion at the 2019 Ledgestone Insurance Open, presented by Discraft. Congrats, Paige.
Thanks.
Nice work.
Thank you.
And we can see nothing but smiles from her as Terry congratulates her, and you know, just to tack on a few points that she made there. She said she's obviously excited that the Worlds is going to be in Peoria, which is only in 6 weeks, but she says that the tournament's going to be won at a different course at Worlds and not necessarily this one. But one thing that I do know with my experience at the World Championships is you have to play every single course, and there is no way that this win isn't a great feeling and great momentum into the World Championships for Paige Pierce, and hats off to her. Congratulations on her win. Thank you, Terry, for the nice interview. And from us here in the booth, I mean, it was kind of nice to hear her say that she was possibly laying that putt up on 18. I'm gonna sleep a little better at night, probably knowing that that might have been an accident, but what a way to finish. And
congratulations to her. Thank you to everybody who has helped make this broadcast possible. We'll be seeing you fairly soon with the men's MPO coverage. Tune into that. Like Paige said, share the footage, go out there, and we'll see you guys shortly. Thank you for tuning in.